mic working? There we go. My bad for running late tonight, y'all. No lie. I was laying down next to my son. These toddler threes are amazing, right? Because we've been sleep training forever, right? Since he was born. My wife is in education. She's an educator. So she's been big on sleep training. At 8 o'clock, 8:30, the past almost 4 years, he's been on point. But lately, 8:30's been a push. He don't want to go to bed. So 9:20, I'm laying down like, bro, I told you people 9:30. They're going to hate me. They're like, bro, he's on CP time. I'm on toddler time. That's really, I am on CP time most of the time. But tonight I'm on toddler time. I'm like, after that, I had to take a little break. And then come on back, same hoodie. My boy Max Frost, Congressman Max Frost, actually liked it. I cut one of the shorts when he was arguing with the chairman earlier. He got told to shut up, and he actually shared my post. But a lot of things popped off since earlier. I get my hair cut tomorrow, so don't worry about the messed up hairline. It is what it is. Israel has bombed Iran. A judge basically ruled against President Trump about the National Guard. This is another judge that ruled against President Trump. It's crazy out here in these streets in Trump world, in the MAGA country. This is what everybody voted for. The curfew in LA is about to happen in the next couple hours. Maybe next, it's like 7 o'clock there, 7:40. I think it's 8 o'clock curfew. I'm watching some of those people on the street, but we're going to watch Netanyahu first. Wait and see what time Fees of the Great will be on the stream. We'll get there, but I appreciate everybody tapping in. The patience y'all have with my lateness here. But let's get it popping. If anything, I want to thank Jade for being here. Something bothered me. I didn't even like my job. Do you know who Disaster is from KOTD? No idea what my dog's talking about. Either way, let's start the stream. Let's get into, see if he's here, if he's not here yet. All right, let's get into this Netanyahu part earlier. Give me 1 second. Because I'm not saying we're going to be at war soon. But what I am saying is that this ain't looking like it's not looking like it used to. Either way, let me start this up. Appreciate everybody tapping in. Let's see what Netanyahu talking about.
Israel launched Operation Rising Lion, a targeted military operation to roll back the Iranian threat to Israel's very survival. This operation will continue for as many days as it takes to remove this threat. For decades, the tyrants of Tehran have brazenly, openly called for Israel's destruction. They've backed up their genocidal rhetoric with a program to develop nuclear weapons. In recent years, Iran has produced enough highly enriched uranium for 9 atom bombs.
That's crazy.
In recent months, Iran has taken steps that it has never taken before, steps to weaponize this enriched uranium. And if not stopped, Iran could produce a nuclear weapon in a very short time. It could be a year, it could be within a few months, less than a year. This is a clear and present danger to Israel's very survival. 80 years ago, the Jewish people were the victims of a Holocaust perpetrated by the Nazi regime. Today, the Jewish state refuses to be a victim of a nuclear Holocaust perpetrated by the Iranian regime. Now, as Prime Minister, I've made it clear time and again, Israel will never allow those who call for our annihilation to develop the means to achieve that goal. Tonight, Israel backs those words with action. We struck at the heart of Iran's nuclear enrichment.
Thanks for tapping in from
We struck at the heart of Iran's
tonight,
nuclear weaponization program. We targeted Iran's main enrichment facility in Natanz. We targeted Iran's leading nuclear scientists working on the Iranian bomb. We also struck at the heart of Iran's ballistic missile program. Last year, Iran fired 300 ballistic missiles at Israel. Each of these missiles carries a ton of explosives and threatens the lives of hundreds of people. Soon, those missiles could carry a nuclear payload, threatening the lives not of hundreds, but of millions. Iran is gearing up to produce 10,000s of those ballistic missiles within 3 years. Now just imagine. Imagine 10,000 tons of TNT
It's crazy.
landing on a country the size of New
I
Jersey.
appreciate that too.
This is an intolerable threat. It too must be stopped. Iran is
Sure, y'all like
working
the
on what it calls the new plan to destroy Israel.
channel and all that good stuff.
See, the old plan failed. Iran and its proxies tried to encircle Israel with a ring of fire and to attack us with the horrible attack of October 7th.
That's
The
wild.
people of Israel, the soldiers of Israel, rose like lions to defend our country. We crushed Hamas, we devastated Hezbollah, we hit Iranian proxies in Syria and Yemen. And when Iran directly attacked us twice last year, we struck back inside Iran itself. Yet in defending ourselves, we also defend others. We defend our Arab neighbors. They too have suffered from Iran's campaign of chaos and carnage. Our actions against Iran's proxy Hezbollah led to the establishment of a new government in Lebanon and the collapse of Assad's murderous regime in Syria. The peoples of those two countries now have a chance for a different future, a better future. So too do the brave people of Iran, and I have a message for them. Our fight is not with you. Our fight is with the brutal dictatorship that has oppressed you for 46 years. I believe that the day of your liberation is near. And when that happens, the great friendship between our two ancient peoples will flourish once again. I want to assure the civilized world, we will not let the world's most dangerous regime get the world's most dangerous weapons. And Iran plans to give those weapons, nuclear weapons, to its terrorist proxies. That would make the nightmare of nuclear terrorism all too real. The increasing range of Iran's ballistic missiles would bring that nuclear nightmare to the cities of Europe and eventually to America. Remember, Iran calls Israel the small Satan. It calls America the great Satan. And this is why for decades, it's led millions in the chants of death to Israel and death to America. Today, Israel is responding to those genocidal calls with action and with a call of our own. Long live Israel and long live America. Our action will help make the world a much safer place. I want to thank President Trump for his leadership in confronting Iran's nuclear weapons program.
All right now.
He has made clear time and again.
No, we ain't vote for that now. Wait. I haven't stopped the prime minister so far. I don't think we voted for this. No, keeping Iran without nuclear weapons has been a thing. Both administrations have said that. Even though I think we cut some deals with Iran and paid them some money, we Biden Democrats, I'll take ownership of that. Correct me if I'm wrong. However, in the whole gist of us not giving nuclear power to Iran, respectfully, I don't think we voted for Israel to bomb Iran. Because we already had a situation in Gaza and the entire Middle East popping off right now. They want to push the Palestinians, I believe, into Egypt or further south. I'm not getting to the lingo and the slogans. There's a congressman, used to be a former Florida legislator named Randy Fine, who was like, listen, bomb all of the Palestinians and Gaza and everything. And now we have Israel bombing Iran. We're going to talk about it on stream. I'm telling you now, though. I didn't vote for that. That's not even, oh, did you vote for Kamala? Did you vote for Trump? No. I ain't vote for that. No world war, period, because Trump is a big negotiator. How are we negotiating? Netanyahu was just in the White House. Trump been talking about keeping Iran from nuclear weapons this whole time, and we go bomb Iran? Israel. It's almost like your homeboy that's always going to the club getting in a fight. You know what it was like your first couple of years of college if you went. The guy who had to prove to everyone that he's still a thug. I get it. I'm not speaking about Israel by itself. I'm just talking about Netanyahu. But Netanyahu seems like he always picking a fight. Like, you coming in the club, you trying to knock somebody out, and we all got to fight with you. Because you the homie from high school, you the homie from middle school. We've been rocking together, but all of a sudden, we see your actions and it's like, bro, we can't, I'm grown now, bro. Graduate. I got inflation to fix. I got egg prices to bring down. I'm trying to stop things from popping off in Ukraine and Russia. I don't need you fighting, homeboy. I just don't know. I don't think we voted for that, Chad.
Enrichment program.
I didn't.
Today, it is clear that Iran is just buying for time. It refuses to agree to this basic requirement of peaceful nations. That is why we have no choice but to act, and act now.
All right, Brody.
The hardest decision any leader has to make is to thwart a danger before it is fully materialized.
I love Jews. I have no problem with Jewish people.
Facing the
I have
Nazis,
clients that are
a
Jewish.
generation of leaders failed to act in time. They were paralyzed by the horrors of World War I. They were determined to avoid war at all costs, and they got the worst war ever. They adopted a policy of appeasement. They closed their eyes and ears to all the warning signs. That failure to act resulted in World War II, the deadliest war in history. It claimed the lives of 60 million, including 6 million Jews, a third of my people. After that war, the Jewish people and the Jewish state vowed never again. Well, never again is now. Today, Israel has shown that we have learned the lessons of history. When enemies vow to destroy you, believe them. When enemies build weapons of mass death, stop them. As the Bible teaches us, when someone comes to kill you, rise and act first. This is exactly what Israel has done today. We have risen like lions to defend ourselves. Over 3,000 years ago, Moses gave the people of Israel a message that has steeled their resolve ever since. Be strong and courageous, he said. Today, our strong and courageous soldiers and people stand together to defend ourselves against those who seek our destruction. And by defending ourselves, we defend many others, and we roll back a murderous tyranny. Generations from now, history will record that our generation stood its ground, acted in time, and secured our common future. May God bless Israel. May God bless the forces of civilization everywhere. Thank you.
And my bad on that, DD. I mean, everyone really, because I honestly haven't paid attention to a lot of world news because we have problems here in America. Not the Russia-Ukraine stuff. Zelensky came over cool. Netanyahu came over cool. South African president came over. German chancellor. It's great conversation. But I'm more worried about the laws that we pass in here. The things that impact us. And even though a war over there would impact us some kind of way, I just don't want us to get the feet advantage of that hurricane. You feel me? With our troops going off the war and our mothers and our fathers have to sit here and it's like, damn, my baby's out here fighting for this global war that's happening. Because it's happening, as you see a little bit. That's over here. We got a war over here. We got wars all in here too. You got people protesting over it all in this line, right? That's where the wall's supposed to be. Come on, man. Let's see what ABC's talking about.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Lindsay Davis. We're interrupting your.
I pick ABC because it's more neutral, I think, than Fox News. We'll listen to Fox News. Fox has to say as well.
Israel has launched an attack on Iran, likely targeting Iran's nuclear sites. Tensions have been mounting in the region for several days.
Yeah, why can't we all just get along? I don't know, bro.
Earlier today that it could happen at any time. We want to go right to Selena Wang, who is at the White House for us. Selena, what's the latest reporting?
Well, Lindsay, we don't have details on the size or the scope of this attack, but earlier today I had asked President Trump just how imminent an Israeli strike on Iran's nuclear facility could be, and President Trump told me that it very well could happen. But he also stressed again that Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon and made clear that he would prefer a diplomatic resolution to this. The president also said that last month he had warned Netanyahu not to launch such a strike. The president is concerned that this attack could actually derail ongoing U.S. and Iran negotiations. The president has been signaling for many weeks now that he believes the U.S. and Iran are close to a deal. But then just in recent days, the president has become less confident. But his envoy, Steve Witkoff, Lindsay, he is planning to travel to Oman for scheduled talks with his Iranian counterparts on Sunday. This is after multiple rounds of talks between the U.S. and Iran. The president today, as of just hours ago, still optimistic that an agreement could be reached. We'll see how this changes things.
Selena Wang from the White House, thank you. I want to go now to Marcus.
Real quick, what Selena said was kind of important because that's what I've been hearing from Trump the past couple of press conferences. And I know I was in DR and I know I was working, doing my everyday lobbying work. But there is a part of saying, okay, cool. I thought we were trying to work out a deal to make this all happen. I didn't think we were trying to go to war. That's my main point. But I did miss, not up to date on all the news. Domestic, at least I try to stay up to date. But I didn't know that Iran attacked Israel a couple months ago. So maybe this is a clapback. But Netanyahu's still that homeboy in the club who happened to be getting in the fights with everybody. Respectfully.
More in Tel Aviv.
And somebody asked what I think about the two-state solution. Honestly, I haven't researched it all. I've had different conversations, but I'm still ignorant to it. Because I know either decision is going to be basically, divisive. I just need more time, I would say. I wouldn't say 6 months, a year, or 2 days, but I think I just need more time to really think because it's a complicated situation that I don't want to make a judgmental call on. Oh, this is his position, and I'm fully ignorant to it. So I'm not as up to date as people say for what it is.
Was in a shelter there. Again, we just talked about these escalations and what it could potentially mean for these peace talks, which we were expecting to happen just days from now. Marcus, what are you learning?
Well, Lindsay, I can tell you that the
I'll answer that in a second.
already, as you know, been high across the region. And just moments ago, the air raid sirens went off here in Tel Aviv, and there was an announcement on the loudspeaker here in the hotel where we're staying and working, and it urged everyone, the guests, to get to the shelter on their floor. And so that's where we are right now. Just to show you around just a little bit, you can see they have some supplies in here. There are cots, and guests have also joined in these shelters to try to get to a safe place. Because, Lindsay, the concern has been all along over any potential Israeli strike.
I know that part too.
That there would be a response. And so following the what the Israelis have called a preemptive strike tonight here in the Middle East, in Iran, they soon after that sounded the alarms for anyone really across all of Israel to get to their bomb shelters, anticipating that there would be a response from Iran, and a response, Lindsay, that would be quite swift. And what we have heard from the Iranians is that if any of their locations were hit, whether they're nuclear or not, that they would respond in kind. And so that is why there's been so much concern here tonight.
And we'll take a live look at Jerusalem at this moment. Marcus Moore, thank you. I want to bring in former State Department official and ABC News contributor Colonel Steve Ganyard. He joins us now. Steve, obviously, it cannot be overstated.
That's a good point, Zia.
Just how widespread these implications are.
Indeed, Lindsay. And we want to find out what actually went on here. Apparently, President Trump told Benjamin Netanyahu just recently that the U.S. would not participate. So this seems to be an all-Israeli operation. Now, the Israelis do not have bombers, so they aren't able to drop the kind of ordnance that would penetrate deep into the buried sites that the Iranians hold their centrifuges. So the question here is what the Israelis hit. We are seeing some reports in Tehran that some air defense sites and military sites within Tehran have been hit, but that's not really the nuclear program, and that was the intent of the strikes tonight. The other thing we need to think about here, Lindsay, is that the Iranians have thousands of missiles, ballistic missiles, cruise missiles that can reach Tel Aviv, reach Israel. And so obviously Israel's on alert and expecting some sort of a retaliation from the Iranians quite soon.
And Steve, just want to stay with you here because we are just hearing from a U.S. official that the United States did not have any involvement. They were not in no way assisting with Israel in this attack. You have to imagine that this was the last thing the United States wanted.
That's what I'm saying, bro. We ain't vote for this.
President Trump has been holding out hope that the negotiations that are going on in Oman were supposed to go on Sunday would actually lead to something, but has also been very frustrated. The Israelis see the ability of the Iranians to create a nuclear weapon as an existential threat, and so their ability to tolerate the kind of delays that we've seen out of the Iranians is very different from the U.S. So Benjamin Netanyahu made the decision to do what the Israelis have literally been planning for decades to do, and that is go after those nuclear sites to try to set back the Iranian nuclear program.
Steve Ganyard, for us, we thank you so much for your time, and we are now going to return you to your...
It's a lot. And what I see here, this Fox News report I'm about to roll over, is they're saying that an Iranian official was killed in the strike. I know my good old Republican subscribers going to love the fact of me going to Hannity. So let's see what Hannity's saying. It's about 3 minutes here.
The White House tonight, Peter, clearly through Secretary of State Marco Rubio's statement, the White House saying they are not part of tonight's military action. However, we do know that the president has been a steadfast, strong supporter, ally of Israel, and has stated many times he will continue to be.
Sean, earlier today, I had a chance to talk to President Trump in the East Room about this, and I asked him basically, are you trying to talk Benjamin Netanyahu out of strikes on Iran, or do you want to keep a nuclear weapon out of the Iranians' hands so bad that you would just say, it's not our war, and let him do his thing? And President Trump's answer was a little bit longer than
hilarious, bro. Everybody 28 bit.
But he said, Iran
was hip-hop 28 yesterday
to get a nuclear weapon. I'm just off the phone with some senior staff. President Trump, I'm told, is in the West Wing talking to his senior staff, and he is watching the news from the region about what is going on. And it's kind of an interesting place to be right now, the White House, because when most of the folks were leaving here around 6 o'clock after the nightly newscasts, there was a congressional picnic that was starting on the lawn. As I was walking back in through the gates, Pennsylvania Avenue is now completely closed. There are Secret Service patrolling. They're keeping people pretty far back, which is something that they do when there are big international incidents. There are heightened tensions. They just want to make sure that they have this area secure. But there are some guests from the congressional picnic still leaving as President Trump is in the West Wing trying to figure out what exactly is going on. He told me earlier today that Israel did not tell them anything specifically that led to the evacuation of American dependents, American military family dependents in the Middle East. But we know that they had some kind of a tip, whether or not the Israelis told us directly or our own intelligence in the region tipped us off. They didn't do that for no reason, because it was a huge operation that a lot of people thought was going to go for a couple more days. But it really only went about 24, 36 hours. Something else, just being here yes.
Iranian state media now has confirmed what we reported earlier that we weren't able to confirm, that the Iranian Revolutionary Guard chief has been killed in a strike. It shows you the depth of the intelligence that the Israelis have. Pretty amazing. But you're saying that the president is in the White House, is watching this unfold live, correct?
Yes, and as I was walking up the driveway, I don't have a clear view right now, but there was still a Marine as of about 5 minutes ago. A Marine sentry posted outside the West Wing gates, which means that the president is either at the Oval Office desk or in the Situation Room with his team there. And just something that I would say about the first 140 days or so being here with Trump for his second term, he's been very, very focused on keeping America out of new wars. And when you talk to him about Ukraine, you talk to him about Gaza, he emphasizes that is not America's war. He wants to work hard to try to end them, but it is not America's war. And so I would
listen, Peter. He's done everything humanly possible, along with Steve Witkoff, to give an off ramp to the Iranians. They chose not to take it, and they got very arrogant about it. And this is the inevitable result. You don't get to be the #1 state sponsor of terror and provide all the weaponry to be fired into Israel and then not expect Israel to take your words seriously that you want to wipe them off the map. Peter Doocy at the White House tonight. Thank you. Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe.
We ain't watching all that. Listen, there's a lot of moving parts to tonight. The Israel-Iran conflict will be going back to tonight, but there's also something I just saw. We have an ICE detention center protests happening in New Jersey right now. It's not just LA. Found this stream live in Newark. Let me straighten it out for y'all. Wait a minute. Bro got the bagpipe out here? I already know we about to vibe out there. What's up? Let me turn these chants up. It wasn't the Irish. That's what. Listen, every day on the stream we see something crazy, bro. Ice, ice, baby. I know Didi was gonna be here for it.
Bro, take me home. Take me home. I'm going home. Right there.
What? Oh, they're hiding faces. I'm about to say, you got your legs out here, girl. You got your legs out here showing, child. Go ahead, girl. She got the thing on. You see that thing on back there?
Why the fuck is
Bro got the bagpipe, man. Hit that thing again, bro. Ninja? What the fuck is he wearing? A robe with a mask? Is that a girl? That is a chick. Oh, she trying to protect her face. No, why you out here? If you worried about losing your job, why are you out here in the first place? Ask yourself that, protesters. This isn't a riot. This is a protest. There ain't nothing on fire. But it's more a fact of why are you covering your face? If you came out here to protest, why are you wearing the hijab and everything and the ski mask? Because if it was a whole lot of brothers that look like me out here with the hoodies on and some ski masks, bro, ICE wouldn't be nice. ICE wouldn't be nice to us. But this is kind of crazy.
Anywhere else, no independent outlet, no mainstream outlet. So you're gonna see it right here on Status Quo. So become a member.
Tapping into Status Quo and getting
$5 a month. Statusquo.com/join.
This is absolutely wild.
Keep us on the ground here, showing you the truth, showing you what's really
she
happening on the streets.
She ain't missing no meal, shawty.
We need
and I believe there's still some anti-ICE protests in LA about to be curfew here. But bro just walking, it's not as popping as the one in Jersey. This one in Jersey is going down. Let me mute this so I don't have competing sound. I don't know what they got going on here in Jersey. Ain't no smoke grenades, ain't no tear gas. No National Guard here, so they're not turning up like they are in Cali, clearly.
All right, guys, I think something's going on the other side.
Oh, we ain't going nowhere. I was about to click off. Hold on. Take off. We about to go see what's up, y'all. Make sure y'all like and subscribe for more. My bad for being late again, y'all. We're supposed to be an hour and a half in. We only got like 30 minutes in here. My bad, y'all. All love, though.
You dare tell me to fucking shut up?
Oh, she going there. Let's go.
These are government workers.
Bareface. Who's you talking to?
Taunting the protesters.
Oh, they're fighting. They're fighting. The rioters fighting.
You ain't gonna burn hell. Hope you burn early.
We're talking to ICE. That's ICE.
You guys to go to hell, you guys. You guys are Nazis. Yo, Hitler would love you. I bet they'll love you as well, but they're really good. But you're gonna go to hell when you die, and your family's gonna regret never having you in their lives. You're welcome, bro.
What's that for? What you got that for? What you gonna do with that?
I found that.
That's your shoe?
No, I didn't found it on the street. I was kidding. I like it.
Watch your phone. You're on live.
What's he about to do with that?
Contained. También estamos en Instagram y tenemos nuestro sitio web radio por manera.
What's going on? Ain't nothing going on here. Let's go to Gavin Newsom, because Newsom actually won earlier. A judge sided with him. About 21 minutes here. We'll see if we're gonna watch all of this, but let's see if basically a judge ordered that the National Guard has to leave California. Let me know how you feel about that. I'm gonna put that in the chat before we while this starts. But do you think after everything we've seen with the rocks and the cinder blocks and the police being trapped under I-10, I'm sorry, not I-10, 110, whatever the interstate was in California, do you think California has it under control? Me personally, I don't think so. I have a homeboy I grew up with. I wouldn't say he's realer than me, but we on the same plane. But he's a pro-Trumper. He lives in California, out there in Joshua Tree. He said, bro, he hates Gavin Newsom. It's too high to live out there. So don't think that all black folks voting for Gavin Newsom, all black folks are Democrats. It's just not real. I'm a Democrat, but it's hard sometimes. It's hard. Let's get into Gavin Newsom now.
About some of the enduring principles of our founding fathers, who in response to monarchy, in response to King George, set out to frame a new construct to elevate and support individual freedom, liberty. They created a system of checks and balances, a separation
Thank you,
of
fast
power,
cars, big money.
co-equal branches of government.
There we go.
Framework took the best of Greek democracy.
Y'all gonna see me talking, but I'm gonna be muted. I might have a guest for y'all in a second. Give me 1 second, y'all.
Test of time. Donald Trump has tested the limits of that and has done so consistently. But today's order makes clear that he is not above or beyond constitutional constraints. Constitution sets forth limits. The president is a constitutional officer. The president of the United States works under the Constitution. And so we are very gratified by this decision. His section that he asserted the authority to overrule the objections of a state governor. Clearly, in the 36-page order, those cornerstones that he claimed or asserted were not met. Section 12, 406, clearly there's no invasion, there's no rebellion. It's absurd. And so we're gratified. Today is a big day for the Constitution of the United States, for our democracy. And I hope it's the beginning of a new day in this country.
Unmute your mic so I can hear you.
Back against overreach. We push back against these authoritarian tendencies of a president that has pushed the boundaries, pushed the limit, but no longer can push this
testing. Can you hear me?
any longer.
I got you. Hold on.
Take any questions. Well, I hope we look at what happened to Senator Padilla, not through the blue or red lens, but through your own
Good evening,
set of
my
eyes.
brother.
And just tell me that that's right. Here's a United States Senator in his home state, in a federal building, in his office building, that wishes to join a press conference, not dissimilar to this, and express himself by simply asking a question, and was handcuffed, was thrown down to the ground, a United States Senator. And anyone that knows Alex Padilla knows one thing about Alex Padilla. He's one of the most mild-mannered, decent people you'll meet. And that's not, don't just take my word for it. Folks on the other side of the aisle would acknowledge that. I thought it was a disgrace.
Governor, what will happen tomorrow at noon?
I want to make this clear. The National Guard will come back under my authority by noon tomorrow. The National Guard will be redeployed to what they were doing before Donald Trump commandeered them. The National Guard will go back to border security, working on counter-drug enforcement and fentanyl enforcement, which they were taken off by Donald Trump.
I mean, that's not all the National Guard does, first off. And I'll be real, just from the looks of it at first, it didn't look like LA had everything in order, Governor. Just to be 100% in the middle with you, like, to be fair. But as y'all see, we got Feezy the Great here. Welcome to the stream, Feezy.
Good evening, world. Good evening, everyone. I hope everyone's having a great night. Shout out to the, to the usual crew. Shout out to the newcomers. Welcome to the Midnight Vibes. I am Feezy the Great, and we finna talk about some things. To your point, Phil, media covers, whether it has an angle or whatever. I try to watch multiple media news outlets to kind of get every different angle. But to your point, it looked like it was absolutely out of control. You know why? Because nowhere in my life have I ever seen anybody throw boulders over an expressway to hit anything, let alone a police vehicle. Facts. So the fact that a police vehicle, the authority, the people who are supposed to keep peace, are literally getting their vehicles battered and bashed on national TV, there's nothing about that that tells me in any part of the world that everything is okay in LA. Right, exactly. And we were just showing, as you came on, attention center, I'll go to it quickly, in New Jersey, where they're having a protest at now. It's nowhere near where it was in LA, right? Mm-mm. So it's a simple fact of saying, okay, cool. I get the governor he wants to control what's happening in his state. But like I said on stream, and our great America's governor, Ron DeSantis, came out and said, this is why they passed the anti-riot legislation. And we'll play his comments later, but it's like, bruh, California didn't have that shit under control. So I get what the judge is saying. But this in Jersey right here that we're looking at is more under control than what we were looking at in LA. Correct. So here, again, whatever media shows you is what it shows you. Right. Media nothing was calm about any of the images that they showed coming in LA. Like I saw another protest. I forget where it was, and they made them lead. They made them move them by City Hall, and they made them post up in the park. And it's like, but to comparison to LA, that was a sleepover. Exactly. Like, it was just like it was a lot going on in LA, man. Like people, man, they shooting people with rubber bullets. The reporter got shot with a rubber bullet.
What the rubber bullet? Yeah.
Getting arrested. Like, bro, like dog, like Governor Newsom, bro. Like it was wild. They was wilding, man. They was wilding big time. LAPD was pent. They was pent, man. Them boys needed help. Them boys needed help, man. Like I understand you want to, like you said, you don't want nobody coming in and, overstepping their boundaries or whatever, dog. But man, again, media showed the worst of the worst. So, hey, maybe it's happening here too. This is Jersey right here, right?
Yeah, this is Jersey. I know that last night I didn't stream, but Houston was popping. Chicago been popping. I'm going to find those links too. But Jersey doesn't look as bad as California. They're not calling the National Guard in here.
I haven't seen no other state or city that has looked like LA. You know what I'm saying? And again, even if it is, they're just not showing it.
Right. And I want to know, like we said last time, if they do protest and it gets there, will it be to the point of saying, okay, cool, we're going to have Mexican flags waving in New Jersey and New York like they did in LA? Because that's the part that really says, okay, we want you in America, cool. But the other part, and we'll get there, I don't know if you've seen Trump's change the overreach with immigration to make sure that farmers and hotels aren't impacted by it because they have great workers, right? Mm-hmm. So it's a point if they only want to go after the criminals. But that's quietly what the protesters or the rioters, depending on what side of the fence you're looking at, that's what they're saying. Like, listen, they're innocent people that you're throwing in with these ICE raids that don't deserve to be deported, right? So now Trump's even saying, yeah, there's some people here illegally, but we don't want to hurt our farmers. We don't want to hurt Marriott and Hilton and AHOA. the Asian American Hotel Owners Association? Because if you didn't know, the Asian Americans own probably 85 to 90% of all the hotels in America. And did you know that not even the Hilton and the Marriott are the best bets? It's the $60 and $70 and $80 hotels that do best, because guess what? They're more affordable for the average family for what it is. But this, they needed help. I'm gonna go back to Newsom. We got about 18 minutes here left, probably shorter, because I know people don't like Gabbard like that. He be bullshit. But let's hear what he got to say. Then we'll flip into some other stuff, because we're actually going to get into the congressman from California that was basically manhandled by the FBI and the people today at the press conference. We'll get into that.
The National Guard will go back to working on what we refer to as the rattlesnake teams, doing vegetation and forest management, which Donald Trump took them off in preparation for wildfire season. The National Guard, men and women, will go back to their day jobs, which include law enforcement, that he took them off the job. Just want you to all absorb what I just said. By the way, you don't have to absorb it. You'll have an opportunity to review that in the 36-page order from Justice Breyer that laid that out. And they'll come back under the rightful command of the governor of the state of California.
Governor, what happened to demonstrate on Saturday in response to this military event?
Do it peacefully. It's a vulgar display. It's the kind of thing you see Kim Jong-un, you see it Putin, you see it with dictators around the world that are weak and just want to demonstrate strength. Weakness masquerading as strength. To fet the dear leader on his birthday. What an embarrassment. Honestly, that's about as small as it gets. How weak do you have to be to commandeer the military to fet you on your birthday in a vulgar display of weakness? That's Donald Trump.
Governor, you warned other states in your address the other night. What are the messages and conversations you've been having with those blue state leaders?
Well, these governors have all been waiting for this decision. I haven't had a chance to talk to any governors. And by the way, every Republican governor. I remember one of them by the name of Kristi Noem, who just a few months ago was on there with one of the spokespeople for the Trump administration, Sean Hannity, and was going on and on and on about a rumor that somehow former President Biden was going to federalize her national troop. And she stood there talking about freedom and federalism, the 10th Amendment. And here she is, her folks throwing the United States Senator from the great state of California on the ground and handcuffing him in his office building in 2025.
Governor, what about the Marines? Were you disappointed that Judge Breyer didn't address that issue? Is that something that you expect to develop?
Well, there's been a lot of rhetoric from Pete Hegseth, that's his name, that they've quote unquote been deployed, but it doesn't appear they have been. But they were making you believe that. And so I think the judge was waiting for the evidence that they actually have been deployed into Los Angeles, which they appear not to be. Of course, they're not coordinating with anybody on this. So he's just waiting for that evidence. Obviously, they moved to another location for training exercises. But there's the bottom line. The police.
I can't stand here anymore of this, to be honest. I don't know about you, Feezy, but it's kind of boring.
I'm Gucci.
Yeah,
we got our point across. The point is that Gavin, you needed help. I understand you want to sue because you felt like he overstepped, but you again blame the media, and that man had to federalize the National Guard. So
yeah,
it's just, hey man, you need to tell your citizens stop.
It's wild. But what I will do is go to. I don't know if you saw the
Bro, what if somebody was in the what if one of them boulders would have hit somebody? Like, come on.
You say it again.
What if one of them boulders would have hit somebody?
Hold on, I gotta turn the volume up. I turn it down. Say it one more time.
I said, what if one of the boulders would have hit somebody? Like, what if it would have crashed through the windshield and hit somebody?
That's real. And they,
like, bro, that was dangerous, dog. Like, man. I mean, granted, protest. I ain't saying protest, but
right. Yeah, I don't live in LA, but I have family in LA, JD. Anaheim, Long Beach, all through that bit. But guess what? Regardless of it, paying $5, $6, $7 a gallon for gas, whatever it is, it ain't happening. Being $12 billion in state debt in your legislature, they thought about the GDP earlier. They said, you know what, Phil, look at California GDP. It's the fourth largest in the world. You're a student of economics, my brother. You know GDP isn't real money for real. It's not real cash coming through your cash reserves. So you can have a $4 trillion GDP, but they have $12 billion shortfall in their state budget. That means critical needs can't get funded. That's really what's happening. But have you seen the Alex Padilla video yet, bruh?
I don't believe I have.
Yeah, he's a senator that was basically, you'll see.
You say it happened today, right?
Yeah, it happened today.
Okay. Sir, hands up. I'm Senator Alex Padilla. I have questions for the secretary, because the fact of the matter is a half a dozen violent criminals that you're rotating on your
I also want to
hands up.
How many of our ICE agents have been docked?
On the ground. Hands behind your back.
If you let my hands go, it's right behind my back.
All right. Cool. One hand. Lay flat.
I'm gonna restart it just in case anybody missed it.
There's no recording allowed out here. I do not know. There's no recording allowed out here per up.
All right, so just in case, we're gonna start it over for the good people, because some people could say it's performative. Some people could say it's a good thing. He's fighting for the people. Let's watch it one more time. Let's make a comment. Let's see it for ourselves.
Exaggerating and balancing. Sir, hands up. I'm Senator Alex Padilla. I have questions for the secretary, because the fact of the matter is a half a dozen violent criminals that you're rotating on your.
Hey man, gotta get your push-ups, man. Gotta get your push-ups in, man. Matter of fact, hold on.
On the ground. Hands behind your back.
Just to buy it, as they say, just to buy it, right?
Go ahead, behind my back.
All right. Cool. One hand. Lay flat.
Other hand, sir. Other hand.
All right, just to leave it there. Okay, we have a U.S. Senator. Where Feezy go? My dog be disappearing.
I had to do 50 push-ups.
You had to get push-ups for old boy?
That inspired me, man. I can't be caught slipping. Whew. That was a lot, bro. Did you see how they ragdolled him all the way out the door, dog? Like,
hold on, let's go back. Yeah, well, this bro right here, like, listen, bro, I'm not trying to do this to you.
He was like, look, just please go willingly. And after he didn't go willingly, right? It was like the way he did, and Buddy in the Black was just kind of like there, but Buddy directed him, like Buddy like steered the car. Look, look.
Let's go back. Watch bro form. Like, bro, you're not coming off this block, boy. You're not coming around to the quarterback, boy. Inside. Is that a holding? Is that holding? Is that holding, rough?
Look how he steer him out the door.
Hold on,
I ain't see Buddy. Where Buddy came from?
Which one? The other one?
Buddy, like bald head, Buddy. Buddy with a
hold on. We gonna
Buddy
see.
with a little cut, kind of just came in like an alley-oop.
Yeah, black. I think the black guy behind him, right? Oh no, right, there he is. There he is.
He right there.
Yeah. Okay, there we go. That's a double team block. That's a double team block.
It was.
One more time. Okay, we got this. We watching film.
We are watching.
This is like the NFL, NBA. This is politics 101. We got to watch film. We got to see how it happens, so that when you elect your people, in whatever community that you in, you got to make sure, okay, bro, if you go raid a press conference, will you get pushed out, or will you stand your ground? That's what we're talking about, right? But bro had it.
Doing pass blocking, you gotta back up. You gotta back up into the pocket, and you gotta protect the quarterback.
This is A1. This is A1 blocking. He tried to, he trying to crash the line. Two hands. Guess what?
He had him up in his chest. He was grabbing him in the chest.
He got one in the chest and got one up on the hip. Mm-hmm. Senator, you ain't going nowhere.
Mm-hmm. And then guess what? You got the pulling guard right here. The black dude's the pulling guard. That's why he came through like that.
Okay.
He the pulling guard.
He hit the A gap. Okay. I see what you're saying. Let's go back. Because it's like a counter. So he was a pulling guard, is what you're saying.
Yes.
So he's a pulling guard. Okay, let's go back.
With the pulling guard.
He's a pulling guard. Okay, so they're coming through. Bob, he hit the A gap. If you hit the A gap, once you hit the A gap, engage. Bomb. Engage. Bomb. Push him to the second level. The second level is outside. And at this point, they got him up to the linebackers. Guess what? We're going down.
He going down.
It's
made the play.
Next play.
To the huddle.
So
shut it down.
Now we already understand his technique is bad, right? You need to do some push-ups. Is it performative or is it justified?
Is the which part? You talking about is the senator justified or is security justified?
Is the senator justified?
Is he justified with going to have to entertain his freedom of speech? Or are you saying is he justified for not leaving when they told him to leave?
They're saying he had a right to be there because his office is in the building. So he had a right to show up at their press conference.
He does have a right to be there. He does, but why? But did they say why they put him out?
Because he was interrupting the press conference. We can get to that. I don't have the official piece. My assumption is because he interrupted the press conference.
Okay. And then that's when they proceeded to pull and pass block and drive him to the ground.
Right.
You know, when you the pulling guard, you're supposed to drive your component into the ground because they're supposed to be caught off guard. That's why you're the pulling guard. Get them up out of there.
And that's what they did. All right. So
got them up out of there. This is what executed. Not gonna cap.
Yeah, I mean, NC says he shouted her down. I didn't see the beginning of it. I think I did see some in another video, but yeah, this is a lot. Clearly, FBI, National Guard, LAPD, they working here. They're not working for the rioters. Because let's look in the streets. Let's look at them in the streets right now. This is the streets, LA right now. It's popping. So I don't know, but I'm gonna find a video. This is Jersey.
Asian cop? That's crazy. I know you're thinking it's better than you in school. That's why you're a cop. Exactly.
All right, there are a lot of agents out now, federal agents.
Yeah.
It looked like what they would capture. It looked like what they kept Thor. It looked like when in Thor 1, when they set up shop in the desert, and they tricked Thor to come out to the desert. That's what it looked like Thor was in.
Oh shit!
Is Thor in there? Is Thor alien? Because Thor's an alien.
So you're saying Thor's back here?
Thor might be with Thor.
Okay.
Huddle over here.
They talking about doing a huddle. What they about to do?
Tackling.
No, they not tackling.
They making their plays.
They not tackling out here at all, bro.
They talking about the plays they finna run.
Listen, I'm gonna leave it here for a second. Actually, we got Ted Cruz coming up. We'll continue to monitor the ICE detention centers. But to the main point, like that, this is. Hold on.
We begin with Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem just giving a press conference on immigration raids in Los Angeles. During the conference, California Senator Alex Padilla was forcibly removed by security after interrupting Noem asking a question. CBS News correspondent Carter Evans shot this video of the incident. Let's take a look.
and what they have tried to insert into the city. So I want to say thank you to every single person that has been able to do this.
Hands up, hands up.
Also, I
Oh,
want
that's another video. Oh, people getting manhandled from that view.
The secretary.
This is some good. Bro had a good technique.
Half a dozen violent criminals that you're rotating on your.
I also want to talk about specific.
This video was released by Senator Padilla's office showing his takedown by authorities.
Takedown?
Exaggerating and embellishing. Sir, hands up, hands up. I'm Senator Alex Padilla. I have questions for the secretary. Because the fact of the matter is...
Man. Gap, hit the A-gap. Once he hit the A-gap, block. Second block. Second level. Get his ass up out of there. Got his ass up out of there. What's up, no ones? Got his ass up out of there. Everybody got a whole chat. Everybody got to drop and do 10 push-ups for Senator Padilla right now.
Let's do it.
My out of shape ass gonna drop and get 10 right now to me. When you drop your 10, put 10 in the chat. Put your 10 in the chat if you do your 10 push-ups for the senator. What I'm dropping, give me 10 push-ups for the senator. They got pushed out the building. What we doing?
Hey man, this is Men's Health Month. Men drop. We're doing physical fitness, midnight vibes.
Midnight vibes.
Push-ups.
Chicken whispered, hey, 12. We got 12 right there. We got, hey, take 10 more. I'm out of breath for the senator. I'm out of shape already. 10 done. 17. Let's go. We do. Hey, we doing.
Good job.
We doing. Hey.
Good job.
Give it up to y'all. 20. Hey, that's what I'm talking about though. 10 beer curls. John, hey, let's go, man.
Health is wealth. You hear me? Health is wealth. Hey, if y'all want to join our fitness challenge on social media, man, just drop it in the chat.
Yeah, drop the IG handles in the chat, man. We'll tag you, man.
In the chat, man. We got fitness challenge going on, and you know what the challenge is? It's just to do something.
Do something.
All you got to do is just do something. You can walk, you can run, you can jog, you can jump rope, you can do whatever you want. You can do push-ups. All we want you to do is do something physical fitness.
Naoji, thank you for the sub, man.
That's it.
So let's get back into this.
Yeah, back at it.
Hands behind your back. Hands behind your back.
If you let my hands go ahead, put them behind my back.
All right, cool. One hand, lay flat, Other hand, sir.
Now, Noem spoke about the incident after the press conference and said she doesn't know the senator.
I don't even know the senator. He did not request a meeting with me or to speak with me. So when I leave here, I'll have a conversation with him and visit and find out really what his concerns were. I think everybody in America would agree that that wasn't appropriate. That if you wanted to have a civil discussion, especially as a leader, a public official, that you would reach out and try to have a conversation.
Now, Senator Padilla later spoke to reporters on how this all unfolded.
So I began to ask a question. I was almost immediately forcibly removed from the room. I was forced to the ground, and I was handcuffed.
Bro, you need to hit the weight room, bro. That's all it is, Senator. Let's not get it twisted.
That's it, baby.
That's it. If you were a D lineman in high school, my boy, with that size, 1 star.
Uno.
I was not arrested. I was not detained. I will say this. If this is how this administration responds to a senator with a question, if this is how the Department of Homeland Security responds to a senator with a question, you can only imagine what they're doing to farm workers, to cooks, to day laborers, out in the Los Angeles community and throughout California and throughout the country. We will hold this administration accountable.
I want to bring in CBS News correspondent Carter Evans, who was in the press conference when Padilla was escorted out. Carter, you took some video as it was unfolding. Let's talk about how this all played out.
Let's get there first.
You know, I would say it was a big surprise for everyone. I was actually shooting some video.
Did he get a facelift?
That's great.
Doesn't it look like bro got a facelift? Hold on.
DHS
Bro, are you cosmetic shaming?
No, I'm just saying, like, all in here don't look natural, bro. The headline and all, is that a lace front?
But he's also on TV, so he probably got the makeup and all that.
That's true. It could be a bad makeup line. Need a new makeup art. And it's outside. It's hot. You're right.
When
he's with CBS.
Yeah. It's a makeup.
It ain't no CNN makeup. You know what I'm saying? But he get the job done.
You're right. Hold on.
It ain't no MSNBC makeup, but you get the job done.
Yeah, getting the job done. Let's go back and tell him I messed up a little bit.
when approaching from the right side of the room, and that's when I panned the camera over there. Now, I did not recognize the senator immediately either.
Every
this
time,
all
buddy,
happened
every time he get on the camera, I'm doing 10.
quickly.
Bro, you forget what he talking about. You see the form?
Yes.
Full arm extension. Yes. Bent at the knees. Like, hold on, go back 2 seconds here. Like, the form. Look at the form.
Very quickly. The DHS secretary did not skip a beat. She just kept looking straight ahead, kept delivering her message as he was dragged out of the room.
Out. Palms not balled up, not fit. Out. Palms out.
That's what they're teaching at the academy. Palms out. Yes. Just do it again. That's how you push the center of the fucking room. That's down to the second level, boy. That's crazy. Hey, Renee.
So.
Hey, J Dog, man. Y'all wow.
It was great. It was great form.
Hold on.
Trying to ask his questions.
Well, y'all got me working.
It was only then, after he was being dragged out of the room, that he identified himself as a U.S. senator, and that's when they brought him outside. And as you saw, they put him face down on the ground there and handcuffed him. I will point out that video comes from his aides. None of the media got that handcuffing video, and they came down outside and
like a Sean Samansky in there. Hold on, A-gap. Hit the A-gap. 1 second, hit the A-gap. Out the second level to the linebackers. Let's go.
Padilla's background. He was somewhat prominently appointed to finish the term of Vice President-elect Kamala Harris.
So my running back can get through the gap.
Talk to us about his position and what he wanted to actually ask Noem at the time.
Chat, man. Shout out to chat. Hey, man, did we do a roll call yet?
Not yet. We're going to do it after this.
He did say that he was here at the federal building in Westwood for a different reason, for a different meeting, and that he heard that this press conference was going on, so that he decided to come down and listen in to see what was going on. He also mentioned that he'd been trying to ask the administration and the Department of Homeland Security questions for some time, but had not been receiving a response. So he said that this, he thought, would be a good time to go and ask those questions. Now, the other condition of him speaking out here is that he wouldn't take any questions from the media. And there were a lot of questions about why he chose that particular time to ask his questions. She was in the middle of her opening remarks. They hadn't opened up the news conference to questions, and he took several steps toward the podium. And, not knowing or recognizing who he is immediately, it's not surprising that authorities took the action they did to stop someone who was approaching the DHS secretary at the
that doesn't make sense
during a news conference.
Bro knew what time it was.
Extremely tight here. So I think in the room, we were all surprised to see that anyone would be coming forward and trying to interrupt this news conference. Initially, I think some people presumed that it was a member of the news media. Turns out it was a U.S. senator.
Yeah, and for
I'll pause it there. To be honest, I'll be real with you, Feezy. After getting more info, it does sound like it was performative, bro. And I hate to say that about my Democrats, because, is it performative or is it substance? I think 2 nights ago,
is he literally just went there to put on a show.
And got bodied. And got bodied in the same time, because think about it. Why didn't you go out when they had the protesters up with immigrants, down with Trump, right?
Yes.
Why didn't you show up to the protest to let them know how you felt then? Because you'll be on the streets. Then you could go to the DHS secretary. Now you're a U.S. Senator. It's only 2 of y'all in the whole state of California. I get it. But they didn't even recognize you. They don't have a relationship with you.
Which is crazy, because he's supposed to be, in my personal opinion, I'm a political nerd, so I feel like when it comes to legislators, they should be rock stars. Like why they don't know you, why they don't recognize you, or if they do recognize you, why they don't give a damn, why they don't respect you. I have all the questions. I have questions.
Yeah, that's true, because honestly, no nonsense. Even though I live in a Republican state of Florida, if Ashton Moody showed up somewhere, like, you should be known. If she's even having anything in your whatever, hey, be there before the fact. But to the point, whoever the center of that left guard was before the right guard came and pulled his ass and pushed his ass to the second level, he deserves a raise. He was ready for work. And not a state senator, a U.S. senator. Exactly. Mm-hmm. Kinsey, they said they didn't recognize him. Alex Padilla, he said he wasn't arrested. He was just detained. I guess when they realized he was real. Yeah. Yeah, I do get it was a press conference, but it wasn't his press conference. Honestly, if he showed up early, it could have been a joint press conference. Yeah.
What the chat got to say about it?
The chat going in. They're going in on Anthony. I love President Trump. Oh, that's why. Either way, let's do a quick roll call. If it's your first time here with me and Feezy the Great, I appreciate you tapping in. This is the Hip Hop Lobbyist channel. We are part of the Just Politics podcast. We will have our official YouTube podcast channel there. We'll be streaming from there shortly, right? We need 50 subs there. We're going to get there one way or another. Either way, let us know where you're tapping in from. I believe somebody said they're tapping in from Liverpool, UK. I'm in Florida, Tallahassee, not Tallahassee. I'm in Jacksonville today. My dog is in Atlanta, Florida. Hot Atlanta, as Didi likes to say. And I know Didi's tapping in from Memphis and everywhere. Everybody. I made Didi a mod. Who else? Johnny 05. I'm waiting on Tammy to get here, make her a mod. We got some mods on the page.
And Terry,
my bad. Right? But yeah, Didi is a Republican, and we're his favorite Democrats. Let's make it work. Either way.
And Didi, I got family from Memphis, man. So you know we good, Didi.
Hey, Big Shelby County. All right, real quick, we got North Carolina in the building. First time, Greater Noni, thank you for tapping in. I hope you've been watching the forum that we've been putting on for the blocking for your senator in Northern California. We need to make sure he's blocking better. Well, Clever Shenanigans, thank you for the sub. Massachusetts, Thomas, appreciate you. Big brother from Jersey. BH from Arizona. Scottsdale, beautiful place. It's too hot to be there. I got to go to Arizona in February or some shit. Pittsburgh, tapping in. No longer a Republican. Luther, I feel you. I no longer want to be a Democrat some days, but shit, in order to vote in the primaries, I got to be in the party. It's just part of the game here. Ohio Independent, Daryl, Independent, Khalil, Shelby County, you know it. First timer Joey, appreciate you tapping in. Make sure y'all like and subscribe. Willis, thank you for subscribing. South Texas in the building. Port Arthur or Houston? What are we talking about? Rhonda, neither Dem or Republican. Hey, Rhonda, we're here for you. We're here for the American people that may not want to be either part of the system, both parties. People who just want to get out of the nonsense and get the real. That's why we're here. Cali in the building. Houston checking in. New here from Pittsburgh. Shara. Either way. Shara. I think it's Shara. Yeah, Shara. That's it. I'm tripping. Because, people get real fancy with the name pronunciations these days. Crystal, I'm a Republican. New subscriber, Crystal. I'm happy to hear that. And I'm going to tell you something, Feezy. I did the media kit for the channel. Guess what?
Shoot.
Most of the people love rock music. That's what YouTube tells me. Right, which is crazy because Aerosmith is one of my favorite bands. But I don't really listen to rock like that. Now, some Shabuzi, some country music, I tap into every now and then. That Tennessee whiskey. Tennessee whiskey is my shit.
You remember Green Day?
Green Day,
U2 or Green Day? It was U2, right?
Yeah, U2 and what?
No. Do you remember a long time ago? I know a lot of y'all don't even remember this because we old. But anyway, do you remember a long time ago when everybody randomly had U2 downloaded on their iTunes?
Yeah.
Like, I ain't download YouTube.
Yeah, Apple put it on everybody's phone.
YouTube on their phone. But I saw that to say is I'm old again, so I'm a Limp Bizkit.
Oh.
Hootie and the Blowfish.
Oh.
Red Hot Chili Peppers.
I know who you're not gonna say though. Go ahead.
Hold on. Papa Roach.
Oh, go ahead. Yeah, he ain't there yet. Go ahead.
Imagine Dragons.
Oh shit. Southern Cali in the building. Now in Washington. I'm listening. Too young to vote. It's all right, bro. Missouri Republican.
Of course, Aerosmith, Bon Jovi, of course. But
of course.
To them for real. I didn't listen to them for real, but everybody who I just named, I listened to. Shout out to Fred Durst.
Hey.
But now, who you talking about? Who I missed?
Korn. You ain't mentioned Korn with a K. You ain't mentioned Korn with a K. You ain't no rock. You ain't no rock fan for real unless you know Korn with a K, dog.
I'm sleep.
I'm talking about wearing Vans before it was. Vans before it was cool. I ain't do it, but I seen them boys do it. Big skater vibes. Marilyn Manson.
Yes, I'm sleep. You are so right. Thank you, Didi. Metallica. Yes.
Oh, Metallica. Oh, how we miss Metallica? That's wild.
See, Metallica's up there. You got Bon Jovi, Aerosmith, Metallica. You got like the Holy Trinity for real.
Hey, Johnny Five says he's a centralist. I believe in America as a whole, and I said you're definitely my favorite Democrat. I respect your beliefs. I appreciate that. Angel Eyes, independent. Both them Republican parties are messed up in their own way. Very true. I believe in that. McAllen, Texas, North Bama, like what's that? Huntsville? Where we at, man? Jackson County, Daytona Beach in the building, not too far from where you at, man. Atlanta in the building, Trumpland is Arizona. Well, a lot of black men are voting for Trump, they say, so it could be Washington State in the building. Bring back third parties. New Orleans, Nolans, UK, Nottingham City tapping in, man. Okay, I may have to run with Nottingham and FIFA. H-Town, Houston here. St. Louis in the house, okay. Right there. Chris Stapleton, Tennessee Whiskey,
Nottingham FC? Nottingham got an FC?
Who?
Nottingham got an FC?
Yeah, Nottingham got a squad because in the Premier League, it's tough over there, bro. It's different over there.
Yeah, I heard they about that. I heard they made MLS look like elementary school.
Listen, MLS is like the retirement league. It's like the Vegas Raiders hospice. American Mexican, that is Republican. Okay, independent. Webby, Brenda from Detroit, Michigan. God bless. Thank you, Brenda. It's cold. It's so cold in the D.
So cold in the D. How the heck do you try to be free?
Nothing doing crime. All right, we're gonna get through this. Korn, My Chemical Romance. Oh, they went through it.
My Chemical Romance.
I'm a little late. Quincy Jones still slapped though. I'll give you that. Lenny Kravitz, of course. Bob Marley.
Of course, Lenny Kravitz. Of course, Boots to
Athens, Georgia. Ozzy Osbourne in the building. What's up?
Of course, Ozzy.
All right, let's go, yo.
He lost his mind. Can he see or is he blind?
Let's see what good old Ted has to say. Yeah, while we here on the stream tonight. What's up, brother?
Real quick.
Yeah.
I know this is not relevant, but before you click on that, bro, that Air India stuff is crazy.
Yeah, we got to get to that, bro. One survivor.
I just want to say that real quick. That was crazy.
Listen.
Anyway, all right, back to Ted Cruz. Anyway, go ahead. You're right.
Listen, we're gonna do Air India next. Let's do Ted Cruz. Okay. See what Ted Cruz has to say about this. I'm gonna see what else is breaking news. See what's happening on these streets. And we're gonna get to Air India. If you haven't heard about it, we're gonna talk about it next, man.
Well, to me, Senator, you know more than I do, but my sources were very clear. The enrichment level was too great. The breakout time was less than a month. They would have the 15 nuclear weapons. The Israelis are not lying about it. And I have to believe those people that believe in a caliphate, convert or die, and threaten to wipe Israel and the U.S. off the map, based on also being the #1 state sponsor of terror. If they got the weapon, they'd use it. Am I wrong?
You're not wrong. You're absolutely right. I believe this was inevitable, and it was rendered more inevitable today by decisions of the Ayatollah in Iran. Listen, President Trump has been clear for a long time that his red line is that Iran must completely dismantle their nuclear capacity, must disassemble their nuclear centrifuges where they are enriching uranium. And President Trump made clear they could either do so peacefully through diplomacy, or those centrifuges would be dismantled kinetically through military conflict. We're seeing the latter tonight. And this morning, Iran publicly stated no, they would not dismantle their centrifuges. And in fact, they said they would build more, they would enrich more. The Ayatollah made the decision, we are going to plunge headfirst towards getting a nuclear weapon. And basically, Iran gave the middle finger to President Trump, and Iran told Israel, you better strike us now, because if you don't do it soon, we will have a nuclear weapon. And when we have a nuclear weapon, this is a theocratic zealot who chants death to America and death to Israel. And they are building a nuclear weapon because they intend to be able to detonate a nuclear weapon in the skies of Tel Aviv or New York or Los Angeles. And so Israel is acting to defend themselves. And Sean, tonight, we should
Senator,
stand unequivocally with the state of Israel.
Senator, if I may interrupt you and then pick up your thought, Israeli news is reporting that Iran's military chief of staff has been taken out. Now, we can't confirm that, but Israeli news is reporting that at this hour.
Wait, what?
Look, Israel has an incredibly formidable military. They are surrounded by nations that would drive them into the sea and exterminate them. Iran's objective, the Ayatollah tells you what he wants to do when he leads mobs in chanting death to Israel and death to America. He means it. The head of Iran's nuclear program, who has since gone to meet his maker, many say at the hands of the Mossad, he had written into his last will and testament that he wanted written on his tombstone, here lies a man who seeks to annihilate Israel. That's the level of hate. And I will say tonight, I want to say to every one of your viewers, please, if you're a person of faith, pray for Israel, pray for Jerusalem tonight. And let me say also, pray for U.S. servicemen and women in the Middle East, in harm's way. And I want to give a message to the Ayatollah right now. If you strike at America, if you attack our military bases, if you kill one single American.
Don't listen to Ted Cruz, y'all. Iran, listen, Ayatollah, we don't even listen to him. Don't let him put a battery in your back and do something to us because you think, oh, Ted Cruz, oh, well, let's do it. We don't even listen to him here for real. The people in Texas don't even listen to him. This man left the country when they had no power in Texas.
And went to Cancun.
Exactly.
He went to Mexico. I don't know if it was Cancun, but he was in Mexico.
He went to the same place they don't want people to come from. Right? Don't listen to Ted. We're not listening to Ted. And Republicans don't even listen to Ted for real because they know he's crazy.
Caught him in the airport.
Really? I honestly think if Ted Cruz got primaried by another Republican, he would lose. Because I think, and this is from a Floridian, I could be wrong. We like Texas, but we don't like Texas. I think another Republican could take Ted Cruz's ass out. Beto couldn't do it because Beto's a Democrat. They never voted for them in Texas. But Ted ass can go. Am I lying?
Anyway. He ain't doing nothing.
He ain't doing nothing. He's trying to run for president. Trump 2028, baby. Cruz, you ain't going over. They're going to vote for Trump again before they vote for Ted Cruz.
They would never vote for Ted Cruz. Ever.
This man said, didn't they say, Trump said his man daddy killed JFK? And he called the man wife ugly. He should have slapped the shit out of Trump.
He did. That he did do.
But you can't have no man like this. You might as well have Alex Padilla getting pushed out the damn press conference. You elect Ted Cruz as president. Anyway, yeah. Iran, we're not listening to him. You don't have to listen to him either. He's just here.
Servicemen or women, I have every confidence that President Trump will respond with overwhelming force. That's the message the Ayatollah needs to understand right now, tonight. Do not attack our American military men and women.
If they are that foolish, they will pay the price. They are messing with the wrong guy. That much I can tell you. Prime Minister Netanyahu just spoke for about a minute. Let's get his comments. Let's get your reaction on the other side. Let's play it.
Moments ago, Israel launched Operation Rising Lion, a targeted military operation to roll back the Iranian threat to Israel's very survival. This operation will continue for as many days as it takes to remove this threat. For decades, the tyrants of Tehran have brazenly, openly called for Israel's destruction. They've backed up their genocidal rhetoric with a program to develop nuclear weapons. In recent years, Iran has produced enough highly enriched uranium for 9 atom bombs. 9. In recent months, Iran has taken steps that it has never taken before, steps to weaponize this enriched uranium. And if not stopped, Iran could produce a nuclear weapon in a very short time. It could be a year, it could be within a few months, less than a year. This is a clear and present danger to Israel's very survival.
We listened to it earlier, so I'll about
Israel,
to
in many ways, I think you can argue, Senator, is doing the world a favor. And if you go back to the 80s and they took out the Iraqi nuclear sites, it almost went undetected. You might recall that the Syrian nuclear program was in play, and they were able to fly under the radar, take out those sites. Very few people even noticed or paid attention. And I know there's been a lot of back and forth because this is Iran and what Iran is going to do. There's one thing that I would argue. This is happening because our former president, that would be Joe Biden, he literally turned a blind eye towards the sanctions that were bankrupting this country. And by doing so, he literally has enriched the country of Iran. He's given them money to foment terror, given them money to build out their nuclear facilities even further. And that leads us to this moment where we are today. Now, if they ever got a nuclear weapon, I would argue it's Joe Biden's fault, but I still would argue, too, that it can't happen on Donald Trump's watch either, and he has said as much himself. Last word.
Yeah, look, Sean, you're absolutely right, and it's even worse than that. Joe Biden didn't just turn a blind eye. He refused to enforce the sanctions against Iran, and he flowed over $100 billion to the Ayatollah. He made them rich in cash. And understand, Iran provides 90% of the funding for Hamas and 90% of the funding for Hezbollah. In a very real sense, Joe Biden and the Democrats funded the October 7th massacre. The death squads that murdered over 1,200 Israelis on October 7th were paid for by the money Joe Biden allowed to go to the Ayatollah. And I will say that
it's just talking points at this point, bro. It's just talking points. And I hate to say it, people I think are so blind by the talking points that it's frustrating. It frustrates me.
Yeah.
Because it really gets to a point of saying, okay, cool. We have to take the reins of this horse now. Israel decided to bomb Iran. They going back and forth. Israel can stand on their own. They say they're war, right? Because we got shit going on in LA. You don't believe me? Guess what? I'm going to show you what's happening. And I know we said we're going to go to the Indian air piece, but this is happening in LA right now. You feel me?
Okay, so let's see what we got. Let's examine the area.
They're just arresting people right now. Hold on. Oh, shit.
Where's the National Guard? Show me the National Guard. Put them on camera since y'all want them to beat us away.
I don't think it's the National Guard here. That just look like regular old LAPD.
No. But I'm saying, didn't the National Guard get deployed to California, right?
Yeah, it was, but this is LAPD, I think.
Yeah, no. This is absolutely LAPD. You're correct. I agree. This is LAPD.
Yeah. It's just, I understand they bombing Iran, but we got immigrants to worry about over here. We ain't got time for that war.
Hello.
We don't have time for it.
We got so much stuff going on U.S. soil. We really don't have time to be everywhere right now. It's too much going on over here. It's just, it's just too much going on over here.
Exactly, bro. Somebody say reparations.
A lot of attention that's needed for home base.
Listen,
home base really needs to be taken care of.
Big. Well, let's get into the Air India. Find out what happened here. I'm looking at Sky News to get some coverage on what happened overall. I heard about it. We're going to get into the survivor off this plane crash too. I'll move some more windows out, but thank y'all for tapping in.
We have more video that we can show you now. Now, this is more video of the moment the plane took off and came down. And again, a warning, you may find these pictures distressing. Let's show you these new images that we have, though, of CCTV of the plane. And you can see the plane in the top right-hand corner of the image.
This was so sad to watch it, the scene.
Yeah.
I can't imagine.
Yeah, I don't want to imagine. That's crazy.
So.
That's absolutely crazy.
So I did a quick deep dive, right?
Go ahead.
Where's the safest place to sit on the plane?
I have no idea.
Well, they don't need any commentary, do they, these images?
Huh?
Take a guess and then ask the chat. See the chat.
Chat, do you know the safest place to sit on a plane?
There you go. See what the chat say.
Let's see what the chat said. The chat moving. I ain't check the chat in a second. Boy, this chat is popping tonight.
Yeah, shout out to the chat, man.
I love the chat, man.
Y'all be doing your thing.
What the fuck was that? The rear, somebody says front, the tail. Somebody said Africa. That's correct. Seat 11A. Clearly, 11A is going to be the one that's booked all the time. In the black box, wing, bathroom, furthest back. What is it, brother?
So I saw two different videos. It obviously depends on how the plane crashes, right? Because usually, well, quote unquote, normally when plane crashes, they usually crash nose first. So therefore, the nose break off and then the back of the plane be safe. But in this instance, the back of the plane went down. Well, just based off what the video looks like, the way it was coming back down, it looked like the tail hit first. So basically, they're saying the middle seat, number one. Number two, depend on how the plane is, but normally in a regular basis, just like how 11A, based off how the plane is set up, 11A is by the wings. They said that the wings, the area by the wings and the exit door are the most reinforced area on the plane. So therefore, they say if you're around that area, you should be straight. And guess what? 11A is literally right around the area where the wings are, based off the graphic that I saw today. Fun fact.
That's wild.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely wild. I'm gonna go to another video. I haven't done CNN yet. Let's bring CNN in on the stream about the one passenger who survived this crash, which is crazy to me because that didn't look like it was survivable.
He walked out.
Bruh.
He walked out.
God. It's nothing but God. See, 11A, clearly everybody booking 11A from going forward.
Police are now saying at least one passenger on board the Air India flight survived, incredibly.
I know I keep jumping.
The newspaper Hindustan.
Yeah, I'm not going to change the topic. I'm just going to say a comment and keep it moving. But your homeboy AB is a wild boy. I'm just going to say that.
You say what?
AB, your homeboy AB is a wild boy.
Oh, Antonio Brown. Oh yeah. We're gonna get on. We'll touch on that next because that boy that crazy. That boy that wild. That's a wild man right there. At least one survivor. My bad, y'all. There we go.
Times quotes the man as a British national saying he heard a loud noise 30 seconds after takeoff. At least 290 people have died, according to Reuters. The Boeing 787 Dreamliner was bound for London when it went down in a residential area near the Ahmedabad airport. We want to warn you, the video you're about to see, you may find disturbing.
I watched the same video again, y'all.
Struggling to stay airborne,
God bless.
descending, then disappearing
Pray for those
behind
families,
buildings
man.
and bursting into a fireball.
So sad, man. I don't wish I don't know.
Authorities say the
man,
plane
prayers
hit a
definitely up for
doctor's
that family.
Say it again, bro.
I say prayers up for all them families, man. This is so sad. It's such a sad occasion. I'm about to, man, you know what I'm saying, bro? Like, I'm finna get on the plane soon, man. I'm not saying that, that's gonna happen, but like, I say all that to say is, we all catch flights all the time, man. This could be any of us. And I know you keep seeing all these planes going down, even though planes normally go down on a regular basis, but it could be any time. It could be any of us. It could be, any flight, dog. So, I wish, like you said, man, prayers and condolences to the families and everybody.
Yeah, it's heartbreaking. It reminds me of earlier this year when the young man went to go pick his wife up from the airport, and that plane had hit in the helicopter. And it's so sad because you never know when God's time is going to be like, hey, I need you. And you don't know how it's going to happen. So it's so sad because at first people think a bomb or terrorist attack or whatever, and it's just, wow. Bobby, I'm going to try to stream tomorrow.
Hostel as it went down. About 50 to 60 students were there.
What's up,
were
Bobby,
taken to
though?
hospital.
Appreciate
and
you
that's
tapping
according
in.
to the All India Medical Association. Teams from both the US and the UK have been deployed to India to assist with the crash investigation. Salma Abdulaziz is following the latest developments for us from London, and our hearts go out to anyone affected by this. But there is a moment of apparent joy that came out of it as well.
Well, I think that when we saw those initial images, of course, Max, of the scorched earth, of portions of the plane lodged in a building, of the huge fires, we thought
Hey, Terry, no protests in my area.
Miracle if someone survived. And now that miracle seems to have happened. One man, passenger seat 11A, found in hospital by reporters. But there is also a tragedy in this, Max. He says his brother was also
my girl Terry, Terry's here. We have mods on the chat now. Terry's been here a couple weeks. Dee Johnny 05. I forgot my dog. I made a mod earlier. I appreciate y'all because I know y'all. The main thing that y'all gonna do is keep the spammers out and the racism. I say the N-word profusely. It is what it is. But I don't like being called a monkey, especially when I put it in the comments. And sometimes I don't know what the comment is. They could be talking to someone else. I'm quite sure we have a standard we've already kind of set in this community. So I'm making the mods at least people that can make sure that the bots and the nonsense stay out and we at least flow the conversation. So respect my mods. Appreciate y'all.
294 people feared dead. That means that there are many more people who died on the ground, in addition, of course, to the nearly 240 souls on board that flight.
Make sure you like
very
this.
Global tragedy, of course.
I got you,
had
Donna.
more than 50 nationals from the UK, several nationals from Portugal, and a national from Canada, in addition to more than 160 Indian nationals. So you're absolutely seeing this global response take place, starting, of course, with India's Prime Minister, Narendra Modi, who says he has deployed his top officials on the ground to provide that help and support. Air India has been setting up hotlines and help desks to respond to the questions of families who I'm sure right now are going through. Who I'm sure right now are going through a roller coaster of emotion from hearing, of course, this news of the one miracle survivor. Now, for those families, again, seeking answers, this will begin to give them more questions, as the airline CEO had given a press conference a short time ago, Max, alluding to some passengers who were injured making it to hospital. Now, you're looking also at the image of the plane, portions of the plane lodged in a building. That building is a doctor's hostel where...
Yeah, real quick. This is from 10 hours ago. The number is actually 241. Somebody in the chat clarified. So CNN jumped the gun clearly with their headline saying 290 people died. The official number is 241. So I want to clarify that for anybody else who may be watching this post stream or anyone watching now, just to clarify that overall.
where medical students would have been gathering for lunch. We understand dozens of those students may have been killed or wounded and rushed to the nearby hospital, in addition, of course, to many other local residents who could have been wounded in that very fiery explosion. I want to go through the timeline just one more time because this happened so quickly, almost instantaneously. The plane taking off around 1:40 local time, and less than a minute later, it loses signal. You've played that video where you see a plane that should have been gaining altitude instead nosediving rather to the ground and ending in that fiery explosion and leading to the aftermath that you're seeing there. Scorched earth, burned out buildings, blazes for these emergency workers to put out. There's going to be an investigation, and I think that's already underway.
Hey, real quick, okay, but I wasn't laughing at none of this situation. This is really heartbreaking. I was just snickering at Clevenger's comment, just for clarity. So yeah, nothing about this is funny at all.
Not at all. This is very sad. This is a very tragic moment. This is very tragic. Very tragic. This is not a joking matter at all.
Yeah.
But the further what Phil's saying, man, like you said, man, we want love, not war, man. So please respect the chat. Please don't disrespect the chat. Please, we're asking you not to disrespect the chat. We don't disrespect y'all, so don't disrespect the chat.
Right. And if you do get disrespectful, we get disrespectful too. So don't think you're just gonna come on here and say something crazy and not get checked or get ranked on. Even though I can't see you, I can still crack a joke with the best of them, right? Because it is what it is. But this is a horrible accident. Respectfully, very sad. I want to give some respect for the rest of this. Let's let these next 5 to 6 minutes play out of this. Just want to at least correct the fact there's 214 souls that we lost from this, but it's very sad. Let's get to the end of this. At least get a good report from this, and keep going.
Britain have sent investigators to help and aid with that investigation, but answers to an investigation will come later down the line. For right now, it is about answering the questions of those families that want to know if their loved one made it out. I'm sure this miracle survivor will give that sense of hope. Did my loved one make it out? And what happened? What went so terribly wrong?
Police say at least one passenger survived the world's deadliest air disaster in more than a decade. Local officials say at least 290 people were killed in the plane and on the ground after this Air India jet crashed into a city neighborhood in Ahmedabad, Western India. The Boeing 787-8 Dreamliner was carrying 242 passengers and crew members as it was headed to London. The survivor is a British man, and he's now at a local hospital. A senior police officer shared with Reuters he had been traveling with his brother,
clearly on the left, whatever it is,
if his brother survived. Let's get the latest from CNN's Tom Foreman. So, Tom, talk to us about what we know regarding this particular flight and this particular aircraft.
We know, first of all, that there is no reason to think that it was not going to successfully make this flight.
Hey, Rocksteady, I appreciate you. Have a good night.
Airport. This plane has had a stellar record for the 12 years it's been there. It's been doing very, very well. And yet something went dreadfully wrong. If you look at what happened during the takeoff from here to the crash site, this was a very fast sequence. In this video, you watch it taxiing down here. We've been talking about it being maybe a minute from this to the other. It actually was in the air for, I think, 30 seconds and climbing for only maybe 12 or 15 seconds of it. If you watch this here, watch, it starts coming up here, looks more or less normal, not necessarily to aviators, but to the rest of us, it looks more or less normal. It's level. And this is about it. It stops climbing in just a moment here and starts slowly sinking back down to the earth here. Wow. Important clues to look at, but also gives you an idea of the incredibly short period of time they had to deal with anything that might have been going wrong. And then, of course, when we go to the wreckage site, you can see where it came down here and all the questions that this
Thank you for not showing that. That's sad.
I mean, one of them being, how did the tail wind up where it was?
Right. And seemingly intact. I mean, other than the damage, it didn't catch fire.
I mean, having covered a lot of accidents like that and been to these accident sites, there's a lot of pieces of this plane that seem kind of together, which is unusual. And that giant firebomb there, and look at this, the main fire over there, that was the tail over there some distance away. How they got there, we don't know. There are many questions about what went wrong. Was this just a pilot error? Did something else go wrong? We just don't really know. Again, everyone's cooperating on this. Boeing's cooperating. They're all getting together, but they have to answer these questions. I do want to bring up the seat map because it's very interesting. We talk about that one survivor. Look, this is where he was seated. Seat 11A. It's the first row of economy. And you may also notice it's right next to an exit here, right alongside the window. So whether that all played a role, I mean, who knows? When a plane like this comes completely apart, it could be someone anywhere in here. And yet that is the place where it happened to come out for that gentleman in a positive way.
Just stunning, considering the wreckage site and the flames and everything that we saw, that someone was able to just walk.
We see we see it once in a while, but in my experience, it is very unusual. I mean, there have been even the very rare cases of people and a plane comes apart in air, and they fall to the ground and they survive, but incredibly unusual, and of course a terrifically horrible story for everybody else, but mainly a big mystery in terms of the plane. The question is, why did this happen? How did it happen so quickly? Because again, the point I keep making, and some of our aviation analysts are making, this plane never completed that transition from being on the ground to really being in the air. It was making that transition when something went wrong.
That's covered other air crashes.
That's sad, man. It's a running catalog of these interviews. Really sad in general. My heart goes out to those families because you would expect people to travel safe. I mean, these days and times, but that's that. Is there any final thoughts there? Because I have President Trump responded about the Israeli strikes on Iran. I wanted to cover that next since we kind of going through.
Again, I said what I had to say, man. It's sad, you know. I don't wish it on nobody, man. It's just a very sad occasion. But go ahead, you can run it.
Yeah. It's the news, really. It's nothing really uplifting besides, oh, damn, one child got $500,000 for scholarships to go to school and they're a first generation child type shit. Everything else is depressing. I don't want to hit it because 1 minute transports, next minute is Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark, next minute it's Jeff Teague podcast. It's like there's nothing really to make you want to watch sports anymore, to be honest.
Or Gilbert Arenas podcast.
Right. It's like that's wild. Let's get here though.
The left, whatever it is, it can be the riots in Los Angeles or it can be Israel attacking Iran. It's always kind of going back to Trump. On that note, let's bring back in the chief political anchor, Bret Baier. He joins us by phone. He just happened to speak with the president of the United States, Donald Trump. Bret, what did he tell you?
Hey, Trace. Yeah, I just spoke to President Trump. One thing, the president was aware of Israel's action before it happened. There were no surprises here. But he gave me a quote. He said, Iran cannot have a nuclear bomb. We're hoping to get back to the negotiating table. We'll see. There are several people in leadership in Iran that will not be coming back. Now, the president, I know, has spoken to Prime Minister Netanyahu several times in recent days. As I mentioned before, the Trump administration reached out to a key Middle Eastern ally beforehand to acknowledge this strike was going to happen, but that the U.S. was not involved in the strike, but the goal still to get Iran back to the negotiating table. There was this building frustration about what Iran was doing at that negotiating table with Steve Witkoff, the Middle East envoy. He was scheduled again for Sunday. Looks like, obviously, that may change the dynamic there. Whether that moves forward at all depends on what Iran does in response. The president told me he's, looking to see what the retaliation may be. CENTCOM is on high alert. The U.S. will defend will help defend Israel if needed. And as I mentioned in the last time we talked, the Iron Dome has been replenished.
Tag them in Israel, man. Get them up out of here for
recent weeks. So there's still this hope in the president's sense and the people around him that this changes the dynamic for Iran and that this does not launch into what will be a back and forth. But we just saw the post from the Supreme Leader saying that this is the beginning of a major retaliation and that Israel, in his words, has sealed its fate. U.S. officials are confirming to us that a number of top Iranian officials, leaders, are dead after these strikes. But as far as the full sense of what the targeting looked like. Natanz, the nuclear facility, was struck, but we don't believe it was by the biggest of the penetrating bombs, but we will have to see come first light. And the U.S. military, and we've been saying this, was not directly involved in these strikes, but there clearly was an advanced knowledge and communication and knowledge of what was happening, and now we'll see exactly what the retaliation looks like.
Great reporting, as always. Brett Baer, the chief political anchor, live for us on the phone. Brett, if you get more information, we'll
what you got, Feezy? What you getting from that?
What's this national security advisor name? What's her name?
Hegseth. Pete Hegseth.
Not Pete. That's not her. Okay, that's not her. Her title.
Tulsi.
Tulsi Gabbard. What's her title?
Shit, I couldn't tell you right now. My brain working on. Let me ask the Googles.
I got it.
You got National Intelligence, Director of National Intelligence.
Okay. Did you see her statement earlier about how we're on the verge of nuclear holocaust?
I did not. Let me pull it up.
Pull up her comment about we're on the brink of a nuclear holocaust.
When was that? Today? I see it. Yep. Hold on.
I recently visited Hiroshima.
Oh, here we go. I'm gonna pull it up. We got Tulsi Gabbard online. I'm gonna take some of these other windows down, y'all. Hold on 1 second. Don't need that up. Okay, there we go. Make sure y'all can see Tulsi, big Tulsi in the house. All right, let's go.
I recently visited Hiroshima in Japan and stood at the epicenter of a city that remains scarred by the unimaginable horror caused by a single nuclear bomb dropped in 1945, 80 years ago.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
It's hard for me to find the words to express what I saw, the stories that I heard, the haunting sadness that still remains. This is an experience that will stay with me forever. This attack obliterated the city, killed over 300,000 people, many dying instantly while others died from severe burns, injuries, radiation sickness, and cancer that set in the following months and years. Nagasaki suffered the same fate. Homes, schools, families, all gone in a flash.
That's sad.
The survivors, the hibakusha, they carried the pain of extreme burns, radiation sickness, and loss for decades. Survivors of this attack were asked to put in paintings and drawings their own memories and how they felt and what they saw, and those paintings and the suffering that they conveyed, the pain and the sense of loss were almost more powerful than the photos themselves. Yet this one bomb that caused so much destruction on Hiroshima was tiny compared to today's nuclear bombs. The bomb that was dropped on Hiroshima had a yield of just 15 kilotons of TNT, whereas today's nuclear warheads range in size from 100 kilotons to over 1 megaton.
Nigga, what?
A single nuclear weapon today could kill millions in just minutes. Just one of these nuclear bombs would vaporize everything at its core.
I gotta go on your side, bro.
Just 15 kilotons.
Cause I was anyway, dog. So check it. Not to get off topic because our current topic is Iran. I missed the Israeli strikes, so I'm catching up on the back end. So let me start there. Number two, I did a deep dive on Hiroshima, and I did a deep dive on the attack on Pearl Harbor and bro. Listen, when I tell you, if you ever do a deep dive about Pearl Harbor and a deep dive about them being bombed and everything that went into it, and how Oppenheimer created the bombs and created the different type of nuclear bombs. Listen, when I tell you nuclear warfare is easily some of the worst stuff ever created. because, like she said, when you see those documents and documentaries about Hiroshima, and all, you be like, yo, like bro, when I tell you it was bad, I'm like she said, it's still in ruins. Like, it was bad, bro. It was horrible.
Hey, so, go ahead, I'm listening. My bad.
Oh no. So I was just saying all that to say is, man, I'm gonna always pray that we never have to resort to nuclear warfare, because nuclear warfare, bro, that's it. Civilization is done, because it's terrible. Anyway, that was all I just.
No, my thing is, and maybe because it's late, maybe I just can't remember. It's a lot of things in my mind, right? It's a fact of thinking, what the hell made them drop the bomb in the first place? And that's what I can't remember at top of my head at the moment.
Well, who ain't dropped who on? You told me why they dropped it on Hiroshima?
Yeah.
Pearl Harbor.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Shit, you're right.
Bro, check it out.
Clapback. They attacked us. Okay, cool.
Yeah, bro, it was bad. It was bad, bro.
Okay.
See, again, watching the movies like Pearl Harbor with Cuba Gooding Jr. and watching like the different movies and just seeing how. Okay, so short version.
I'm damn sure tired. I totally forgot it was Pearl Harbor first.
Yeah, Pearl Harbor, bro. So short version. Japan thought America was going to attack because it was basically in the vicinity, give or take.
Mm-hmm.
Japan came through with the chopper, lit up the whole Pearl Harbor, all the ships. People, I'm talking about, bro. It was unannounced.
Unprovoked, unprovoked ass attack. I remember now,
It was completely dark. They were chilling on the base. Next thing you know, I'm talking about, bro. They came through. It was ugly, dog. They came through. They sprayed the whole scene. It was bad. Bro, when I tell you, President Truman, what was Eisenhower? Was it Truman or Eisenhower? I think it was Eisenhower. President Eisenhower. No, it wasn't. It was Truman. It was Truman. Anyway, whichever president it was, when I tell you he was pissed and he was like, don't even worry about it. Say less. Bro, they kept negotiating back and forth about, hey, surrender, don't surrender, blah, 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 blah. When I tell you, they went over there like early in the morning. They just creeped on over there to Hiroshima. They got to their drop point.
Boom.
Man, bro. So Oppenheimer created several nuclear bombs. One was called Big Boy. Another one was called something. I can't think of the name of it. Either way, when I tell you, when they dropped them bombs, bro, it was like it was ruthless. But see, the reason why that was such a big deal is because that was one of the pivotal turns that we made as America become a superpower. Because we would, you know what I'm saying, we was the first ones to do it. So everybody looking at us like, oh, we ain't finna fool with America. So that's how America was once America still is a superpower, but you know what I'm saying? That's when that was like the very beginning when they was like, yo, America ain't nothing to fool with. We ain't gonna mess with them Americans. We all right. We don't want no beef. We don't want no trouble. We don't want no smoke. So that's why they did that. But like they said, like she just said, bro, it was bad. When you look at the aftermath, when you look at what happened to the people, when you look at what happened to the actual area and the environment, bro, it was terrible, dog. So that's why I say all that to say I do not wish nuclear warfare on nobody. That is horrible.
Big facts. And we got somebody said Cosmo, funny how the camera survived. That is true. Basically brain cells left the chat and we're dumb, I guess. Mike Olo, he said he was there in 1945. We can all have a brain fart every now and then. I'm human. You know what I'm saying? Pearl Harbor, that's why it happened. You know, it's one of them things because we're in so many wars. But in that moment, I just simply forgot. So thank my dog for actually.
Yeah. Don't worry about it, Phil. I got you, man.
Yeah, I appreciate you. I appreciate you. You know, and if anybody in the chat, just want to say their shit, say your shit. It is what it is. But you decided to stop on your phone on my stream between YouTube shorts. And guess what? If you don't like the content, keep scrolling. Take your thumb and just go like this, right there, just right there. That's all you gotta do if you don't like the content. Because everybody else is standing here and they enjoy it and they understand that after all the conversations. Sometimes your boy fucks up and it's okay, but I'm human. I respect that. But let's get back to it. I know my dog about to tap off. He's got work in the morning. We're going to finish this Tulsi Gabbard piece real quick and see what else is out here with the news before I wrap up, because we streamed earlier too.
Tulsi Gabbard piece.
Yeah, let's finish this up real quick. We got about a minute.
Yeah, I want y'all to hear the nuclear holocaust part. How much further is it? It's a couple more minutes?
Yeah, this is about a minute here.
Would crush structures miles away, killing and maiming countless people. And then comes the fallout. Radioactive poison spreading through the air, water, and soil, condemning survivors to agonizing deaths or lifelong suffering. A nuclear winter could follow, with smoke and ash completely blocking the sun, plunging the world into darkness and cold, killing crops and starving billions. Acid rain would scar the earth, wiping out entire ecosystems. This isn't some made-up science fiction story. This is the reality of what's at stake, what we are facing now. Because as we stand here today, closer to the brink of nuclear annihilation than ever before, political elite and warmongers are carelessly fomenting fear and tensions between nuclear powers. Perhaps it's because they are confident that they will have access to nuclear shelters for themselves and for their...
Hold on, I gotta stop for a second, Feezy. I gotta stop for a second. My apologies. Because I haven't been watching the chat. But I want to give Mr. Manu a thank you for dropping $1.99 in the chat, for supporting the page and supporting the channel tonight, man. I appreciate you. I apologize for taking 10 minutes to acknowledge it. I just saw it. I want to take my time to pause the stream to say thank you for supporting the channel. Everyone out there, I've seen Johnny 05 and Didi telling people, go ahead and like it. Let's get to 200 likes. I appreciate if we can get there. I'm not asking for it, but if you decide to like, subscribe, or give your hard-earned money to the channel to support what we're doing here, I appreciate you. Again, I am the hip hop lobbyist, a professional lobbyist in the state of Florida, 15 years running. I'm not going to get my whole spiel because Didi, Johnny 05, and everyone else, Tammy included, they've heard my spiel 100 times by now, but it's okay. I got my man Feezy the Great with me. He's about to tap out. He's got work in the morning. But I want to thank y'all for tapping in. We just surpassed 3,500 subscribers. Clap it up, clap it up, clap it up for y'all. Appreciate everybody who's been here for this ride. And I know Didi, Johnny 05, my crew. I'm gonna come up with a name for the hard down crew, right? Y'all know we've been doing numbers. We had that 11-hour stream. We picked up 1,000 subs. We went from 1,900 to 2,900 overnight. We just hit 3,500. I thought, like, you know what? When we get to 2,500 by the end of June, we'll be here. 3,000 in July. 5,000 in August. We about to hit 5,000 maybe before this month is up. I appreciate y'all tapping in because I do feel that, honestly, between Feezy and myself, talking to you all naturally instead of making the content and hoping you find it and hoping you watch it to the end, you're able to connect with us. And guess what? You know what? We like these guys. Let's subscribe. Or we don't like these guys. Let's unsubscribe. Well, guess what? I'm going to keep on scrolling because I want to hear shit they got to say. It's okay. We love y'all anyway. But I'm going to give Feezy a chance to say some stuff. I know you about to sign off in a minute. I'm going to get to the Tulsi Gabbard. And then we're going to see what else is trending. Then I'm going to tap off and maybe get on the game and go get some sleep. Because I'm traveling this weekend. But either way, Feezy's great. What we got to say unless you want me to finish Tulsi?
How much longer Tulsi got?
About a minute. No, not even that. 30 seconds.
I'll wait till you finish Tulsi because I want to see what the chat got to say.
I got you.
Families that regular people won't have access to.
Hit boy in the building.
It's up to us, the people, to speak up and demand an end to this madness. We must reject this path to nuclear war and work toward a world where no one has to live in fear of a nuclear holocaust.
Yeah, that's it. Go ahead, Feezy.
Whatever's going on in the world, whether it's craziness or whether it's, sanity, whatever it is, be careful, be safe, and stay dangerous. Yeah, man, it's a lot going on right now. So I just want everybody to pay attention and to stay vigilant. That's all I have to say about that. It's been great. Another Midnight Vibes in the books. Again, everybody, appreciate you. Shout out to the chat. Thank you for having me, always, per usual.
Always, brother.
Follow me on social media, Feezy the Great, FEEZYDAGR number 8 on Instagram, the Instagrams. Yeah, that's all I got, Phil, man. Again, Phil, appreciate you, let me tap in, let me pull up, appreciate the link, all per usual.
Oh, you know it, Feezy. Appreciate you taking the time out of your day. I know we started a little later than it's scheduled, but thanks for making the time for the chat. And we got some content to break down. I know Johnny 5, DD, everybody, they love vibing with my dog. So appreciate you making the time. But Led Zeppelin said I need a mod. Let we'll get you. We can't have everybody can't be mod because we got a lot of bots coming in. But regardless of it, thank you, Feezy, for taking the time out for the stream tonight, my man.
No problem, man. Again, thank you very much for having me. Y'all have a great one. I'll holler at you later.
All right, brother. All right, so yeah, my man Feezy the Great vibes with the big homie. Let's see what's going on in these streets. So ice raids over there. Let me find. Hold on, because I did have a ride around. We got the curfew going on in LA, clearly.
Los Angeles. Let's see what this is. Was it Los Angeles and 16th? It's right by the freeway.
Traffic Units 1611, ambulance here, felony, Osborne and Glen Oaks Code 3, incident 3390, D1633.
I'm gonna sit here for a second. I'm gonna find something else, see what else is happening in these streets, and go from there. This Israel attack is kind of crazy, though, to be honest, man.
Any Southeast unit for a timeout, man, woman dispute, 13108 South Vermont, it's code 23347, RE1851. Unit handle identified.
Ooh, damn, that's almost it.
4. 16150.
16150, roger.
1449, per 14 ounces, 122 pre-eyes, the suspect in Shovel GOA. Line scope for Adam 8333, Zatilla Terrace.
Alright, there's nothing.
John 86A, clear.
Nobody got pulled over here.
Los Angeles.
We'll go back to this from earlier.
Lambo.
First 26 and call south at St. Andrews.
Now, I know we discussed the
Number 1, no black shirt, black pants. Number 2, no black sound hands. Attempting to physically fight each other. Go to incident 3401, 1445.
I'm gonna flip this over here. Now, I told y'all before that Florida's not playing this riot thing. And this weekend, if you haven't heard of the No Kings protest scheduled for Saturday, I'm not gonna be in Florida, but if I'm in a state where I could record, guess what? I'm gonna live stream from there for Father's Day weekend. We're gonna see. But Florida's taking a stance against this.
Comments as Florida braces for protests against President Trump's policies.
A sheriff issuing words of warning if it gets violent.
We will kill you, graveyard dead. Governor DeSantis also sending a strong message saying drivers can hit protesters to defend themselves.
You have a right to flee for your safety. And so if you drive off and you hit one of these people, that's their fault.
Now, some of those protests are set to take place here in South Florida this weekend.
CBS News Miami's Anna McAllister joins us from one of the locations with reaction.
The key word that we're hearing from state and local officials is peaceful. They are urging anyone who attends these protests this weekend to remain peaceful and to refrain from violence. And they say that if you don't, you could end up hurt, locked up, or even dead. As unrest continues in Los Angeles, cities across the U.S. are gearing up for the No Kings protest happening coast to coast Saturday afternoon. The protests are in response to what demonstrators say are President Trump's authoritarian leanings, with a large focus on ICE and immigration. In Florida, law enforcement and political leaders aren't mincing words.
If you throw a brick, a firebomb, or point a gun at one of our deputies, we will be notifying your family where to collect your remains at.
I told you, Florida don't play that shit, bro. I wouldn't even go out there as this new content creator. I'm a full-time lobbyist. I wouldn't go out there in these streets in Florida and try to film this shit. Maybe an ICE raid on a farm or some shit, right? I'm not going out there because I already know the law. They gonna bust everybody's ass out there, and I'm already black. And I'm not gonna go out there and hide my face and wear the rest of this shit. Oh yeah, I'm out here just filming content. No, bro, I'm gonna get banned like everybody else because they gonna think I threw a rock. I ain't throwing shit. I here to get content. You feel me? But certain states, they've been ready since the George Floyd death, whatever it is, right? You could say, oh, it's fentanyl, oh, whatever. The man was choked out and called for his mama. Leave it there. Florida was one of the first ones to put these anti-riot protest bills in. They're going to let you run your ass over if you get on the streets. You get on 95, I-10, 295, 395, 375, whatever, 95, 555, whatever it is in this state, they're going to run your ass over with that fire, okay? They're not playing the California shit. And that's what people need to realize, that what happens there ain't happening everywhere. And that's why earlier today, as we saw on the stream this afternoon, if you have a sanctuary city where you're allowing ICE not to detain the criminals that Trump is now saying, then it's a problem. Because remember, Trump said that he wants some of the illegals to stay for the farm workers and for the hotels, but the criminals need to go. So now that we've clarified it, not all illegal immigrants, just the criminals, not the Seminoles, Florida State, the criminals. That's what we're going after. But when you come to the ICE protests this weekend with the No Kings protest, I'm going to be in South Carolina. I'm going to go read South Carolina laws before I get there, because guess what? If they have one there, I'm going to go to the streets and make sure I don't get caught up. And if I do, I hope that y'all bail me out. Because if I'm not on the stream by next Thursday, next Monday night, y'all going to be like, damn, did he stream and get busted? I'll be on the streets. Y'all see it on Saturday. Then I hope, like, damn, I'm going to find out how much the bail is. And I hope my community will help bail your boy out. I got it regardless, but I just hope that y'all will help support the boy. Either way, I'm not doing it in Florida. I don't want to die unnecessarily before God calls me home. I'm not going to put myself in a situation where God's going to be like, you know what, I think it's your time. No, I'm not ready. I'm trying to see my son turn 80.
Because we will kill you graveyard dead.
Hundreds of protesters are expected to hit the streets in Broward and Miami-Dade counties. The governor sharing this message.
If you're driving on one of those streets and a mob comes and surrounds your vehicle and threatens you, you have a right to flee for your safety. And so if you drive off and you hit one of these people, that's their fault for impinging on you. You don't have to sit there and just be a sitting duck and let the mob grab you out of your car and drag you through the streets.
Now, real quick, I'll be real with you. I was looking for some streams earlier. I heard they were like protesting in New Orleans, but they had people surrounding cars and had young ladies twerking on the cars. Now, I'm not saying I would be opposed to somebody twerking on my car. What I am saying is that if you damage my hood, I'm going to be upset, because the dents in that hood is going to fuck up the circulation in my engine and everything up in that and under the hood. No.
Florida,
the
anti-riot state, was the theme Thursday as the state's attorney general addressed the public ahead of Saturday's protest.
Oh, wait a minute. I just checked. I need to check the chat more often. Crystal, I appreciate the support and the love tonight, man. Thank you. New subscriber. Thank you for supporting the channel. Really do appreciate that.
California, we do not allow rioting in the state of Florida.
Shout out to Debbie Mayfield, who just won her her Senate race yesterday.
Regarding safety tips ahead of the demonstrations. This is the most important thing he said protesters need to keep in mind.
I think they should be mindful of who they're standing next to, because it's easy to kind of get caught up in the moment. And oftentimes you're not paying attention to the people that are around you.
Yep. That's why I'm not going out nowhere in Florida. If they have a protest, a riot in Jacksonville, I'm going to watch it from my damn house.
Going to jail, you can wind up being hurt. And not necessarily because anything you did, but the person next to you.
And there will be several protests happening Saturday here in South Florida. In Fort Lauderdale, that protest kicks off at 10 a.m. Here in downtown Miami and in Miami Beach.
I know what Didi gonna say.
At 11 a.m.
I know what Didi gonna say.
They're having their protests kick off.
Whatever Didi gonna say, I agree with you. My bad. I had it off to the side.
Adam McAllister, CBS News, Miami.
She made that kind of sexy at the end. Y'all saw that? Hold on. Wait.
Now reporting from downtown Miami, Adam McAllister, CBS News, Miami.
Y'all saw that? Y'all saw the sexy face. wait. What did she say, Miami? Hold on.
Miami, Adam McAllister, CBS News, Miami.
It was like a wink. She like did a little wink in there. That was kind of sexy. What do I have next? Hold on. I did have something I wanted to see. Hold on. Then I'm gonna wrap up this stream for the night. ICE protests. They riding through. Let's see what they got. I don't think they got nothing else here. I'm gonna take their logo out, cross promoting. I knew what Didi was gonna say. Leave our snow bunnies alone. I don't want them. I love my chocolate swirl I got upstairs. My little mocha, my caramel hunting. You ain't gotta worry about me. I ain't coming to take your snow bunnies, baby. I don't want your snow bunnies, boo. I got my chocolate cocoa upstairs, baby. I love my boo. You ain't gotta worry about that, dog. You know what? I'll be real with y'all. We've had a great day. I'll make this full screen for me. I've had a great day. I honestly don't have nothing else to stream tonight. You know what I'm saying? I could just like bullshit, but I don't want to waste y'all time. I mean, I think building a community is one thing to where I want to genuinely put in the same energy that you all give, right? And we had a great time tonight with the pass blocking with Senator Alex. We've seen that, he got to work on his shit, to get better. But to the main point, I want to thank y'all for tapping into the stream tonight and earlier today. Y'all do know I did one earlier. I may do an unscheduled tomorrow. I got some work to do. The wife will be home. So, I like the studio to myself, like house to myself studio. So I can just say my piece and call it a day, talk to y'all like it ain't nothing. Let me move over here so I'm better in the camera. I be tripping because I'm like, whatever. But I appreciate y'all tapping in, spending time with your boy. Great numbers overall. Everybody who's liked and subscribed, who gave, I'm never asking. But I do appreciate the love overall. We have 216 likes. Great, man. Either way, thank y'all. Y'all have a good night. If I do have a stream, I'll make sure I try to schedule it. But what I will do, I'll tell you this for DD, Johnny 05, especially Terry. Terry, I'm gonna tell you this. Terry, this is especially for you. I felt bad when you logged on the stream the other night. And two things happened. One, I couldn't acknowledge you at first because I didn't see the chat was moving. The chat's just pumping, right? One. And then two, you made a comment about, well, you always catching the tail end, and I'm like, damn, I feel bad because I actually, like, tonight, 9:30, I was supposed to be here. By 9:22, I'm laying next to my son like, okay, cool. He's struggling to get down a bit. It's all right. We'll get here, right? 10:45, I got here a little early, at least had the pre-roll going. But to the main point, 9:30 Tuesday, no, 9:30 Monday, 9:30 Tuesday, 9:30 Wednesday night next week. I'm gonna schedule them. We'll be here on time because guess what? Wife will be gone, the sun will be gone, and I'll have time for y'all, and we're gonna get full energy. So hopefully, the war that's brewing in Israel and Iran won't be too much. We'll be able to see if I'm able to get some content in South Carolina and Georgia. And any riots. If I see some, I'm gonna go through the New Kings protests, see where they at, tap in. I may stream tomorrow. We'll see. More than anything, if I don't put out a schedule for this weekend, look for the schedule post for Monday, 9:30. I'll be driving back from South Carolina Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday next week. Let's lock in to at least have a set schedule for them. But either way, excuse me. I hate burping in y'all face. Thank you for tapping in. I'm gonna go through the chat real quick before I sign off. What time do you usually start? I try to shoot for 9:30, Terry, but then some days when I'm like, oh yeah, 9:30, that's when my son's like, yeah, I'm not going to bed till 9:45. So I'm thinking 9:30 to at least get there. But with him out of town next week, I have no excuse. So quietly, I could do 7. You know what I'm saying? I could do 7, but I don't want to pencil in 9:30 for now. It could be 7, but I'll schedule it. I will schedule it so everybody knows. Thank y'all, the moderators, my mods tonight, Terry, Johnny 05, DD, everyone here. Let me go through the comments before we officially sign off. And see, like, Ark of Oz dropping the monkey emojis. I get it, I guess. But my mods can handle that for me. See, that's what I want removed, because that's the only thing. It's like, why? What's the purpose? Yes, Eastern Standard Time. I'll be traveling back from South Carolina. I should get back here around 4 or 5 o'clock. So most likely I'll schedule Monday stream for 8, 9:30, so I can at least get some time off the road type shit, right? Diddy, hey, what's up? What's up, Rideshare? Appreciate you. All right, Puerto Rico, thank you. Let me read through this chat. And I'm going to sign off on y'all in a second. All right, Crystal, hope you have a great night. Diddy, yeah, Art, appreciate you for having that deleted. Peace, man. Sleep well. Thank you, Brandon. It's okay to say fuck on here. Yeah, it is. My boy Hit Boy, appreciate you tapping in. Dang, someone's a little black meat. What can they do? All right, I don't see too much in the chat. No real help. We got the best governor. We do. I don't have a problem with DeSantis, Terry. You know why? I have 4 projects in the budget that need to get funded. I got $250,000 for my nonprofit at-risk youth program, a statewide mentorship program. The state of Florida, out of $100+ billion, is only funding 11 mentorship programs in the entire state of Florida, including Big Brothers Big Sisters. And one of my clients happens to be one in that down there in Broward County, serving Broward, Miami-Dade, Palm Beach County, a little bit of Jacksonville and Orlando for Holocaust survivors living in South Florida. We also got in Jefferson County up north money for a courthouse that needs to be revitalized. Because guess what? I know we talked about property taxes and stuff like that. Guess what? In the rural communities, it's hard for them to improve their infrastructure without increasing the tax base. And it's a rural area, so the money isn't really there like the big cities. We have at least $375,000. We got another something coming in the sprinkler list. Hopefully bump that to $1 million. Another $180,000 for a water project in a small town of Melbourne Village. Either way, those are some of the issues I lobby on. As you see, environmental, some courthouse, elder affairs, the youth. So people say, oh, all lobbyists are bad. Not all lobbyists are bad. I think I'm a good guy. I feel like Robin Hood for real. Right? Because this is my thing. Especially if it's your first time here, I'm going to tell you a little bit of my story. I've been working in customer service since I was 13. I've been in your neighborhood bag boy, banker, front desk clerk. You name it, I've probably done it in customer service. That's the same kind of approach I take to politics. Because it's not just the customer service to the clients, it's the customer service to say, you know what, how would this law, this policy, this program impact people? And like for my nonprofit youth program, I think I shared here, we were having our day on the Capitol. We had 40 kids come from Pensacola, from Jacksonville, and the area of Tallahassee where they have kids. And we flooded the Capitol for our first day on the Hill with all the kids, right? Just to say thank you to the members for supporting the program. Great reception. But the overall part of it is realizing that a mother was dropping her child off there because she realized that this program would help her child pass the state standard exemption or standardized tests, excuse me. And it was the emotion of that, like, this is what I'm doing it for. But that mother out there, like, we got $250,000, right? You know, I said $250,000 because it's $250 for each child to be in the program. In the state of Florida, if a child falls into the Department of Juvenile Justice, into the system, it costs the state of Florida $1,000 per child to recidivize or basically provide funding for that child to make sure they never end up in the system, don't end up in jail. Right. And these are like preventative programs, or maybe they robbed somebody or did something. You know, the youth, they always do some crazy peer pressure shit, and they need to be mentally brought out of that situation that they're in. It costs $1,000 per child in the state of Florida. That's the average. That's how much the taxpayer dollars go for each child that ends up in the system. Say, hey, you know, this is the preventative measures. My programs do it at $250 per child. That means that you can do 4 kids for the price of the state doing 1 That is a savings of $750 for the taxpayers of Florida. So when I ever talk about a return on investment to the taxpayer, that's what I mean. That's what lobbyists as me have to portray to state elected leaders and budget leaders to say, you know what? I understand that you only have 11 mentorship programs you're going to fund in the state. 11 out of hundreds of billions of dollars. And I know that the return on investment to the taxpayer is greater here than any other program you have. So let me get with my right representatives and my right senators. Let me get with my right budget chiefs and have a conversation about this project, about the benefit it would have. And what I like to do is tell people that, you know, this is my dope game. This is my NBA. This is my NFL. This is the field I decided to take and be in, to say, you know what? Hey, let God use me and walk his will for my life. Right. So that's what I decided to do. And I love what I do. I love what I do because of the impact I make in everyday people's lives. And guess what? My wife told me today, true story, because when I ended the stream earlier, I had to go on some errands. Getting her car was one of them. My feet were ashy. And she was like, you out here looking like a bum, just homeless. And I told her, you really think I give a fuck what people think about me, about how I look? I don't care about the outer appearance of this book. I'm black in a white man's world. You can check. I put my Meta Ray-Bans video on. You will see that I walk into a committee room. I'm most likely one of three black people in the room. This is a field that's dominated by people that don't look like me casually. And I'm comfortable in my skin enough to be like, you know what? I'm going to be successful here because this is my dope game. This is my NBA. This is my NFL. This is what God destined me to be. And I'm gonna nice dental hygiene, brother. Yeah, I know I need some what that is, braces. But it's about impact to me. I don't care if I'm ashy. I don't care if my hairline's crooked. I know that I'm one of 60 people in this whole state, 10 that are working in solo practice that can move government like anybody else. And guess what? I have America's governor, Ron DeSantis, at the top, who has to sign the check. And he got 2 weeks to sign the budget. And I need all my money in there. So guess what? I'm going to still do what I got to do. And we're going to be here with you. So either way, that's my final thoughts. I appreciate y'all tapping in for the stream again tonight. Much love, much appreciation. I hope y'all don't take this as Phil bragging again. Hip hop bragging again. Like, no, I know that there are people that are seeing our stream for the first time. So Didi, Johnny 5, Terry, you may hear this story 100 more times, but guess what? You never hear me changing the narrative because it's all real and authentic. Either way, appreciate y'all tapping in to the stream tonight, man. All love. Y'all have a great night. Most likely we'll be on tomorrow. If not, I'm gonna set the stream up for Monday. Let's lock in 9:30. Because if I leave Hilton Head, I gotta drop my wife off at the airport in Savannah, get on down here, have a work day. It's a regular Monday for reals. And we'll see what happens. So Monday night, I'll see y'all if I don't see y'all tomorrow. Y'all be safe. Look forward to connecting again. I'm gonna get a good sign off on